From the corner of Munson and Civic Center Boulevard, welcome Fanatics to Menor Ice Arena for game number 44 of your Menor Icebreakers season. Tonight, the Icebreakers hosted the Port Huron Prowlers. I'm Angelo Villada, and thank you for listening right here on YouTube.com, your home and away home for all Menor Icebreakers games. The conclusion of this two-game series at home versus the Prowlers, and then a trip tomorrow to David S. Palmer Arena, where the Icebreakers will take on the Danville Dashers, also of the Western Division, who are in hot pursuit of these Prowlers at second place in the FPHL West. We talked a lot last night about all of the new faces that are a part of the team. Think of it kind of akin to spring training, which is going on now for the Cleveland Indians. A lot of hungry new faces looking to earn their spot here on the Icebreaker squad, and we saw a lot of that last night. On all four Icebreaker goals they scored, some point was one of these new guys. So we're going to remind you of these guys that are taking the ice tonight. And there's one new one joining them, number 26, Mike Zanone. Number 1, Kent Nussbaum. Number 5, Ty Rickabaugh. Number 7, Billy Rapone, who scored a goal last night. Number 9, Brendan McKenzie, who came awfully close but picked up some points along the way. Number 11, still pretty new, Dominic Horvath from Toledo, Ohio. Number 14, Josh Lemke. 17, Josh Newberg. 20, Tyler Homard. 21, Paul Hanna. And now, number 26, Mike Zanone. So a lot of the young faces to take a look for. We'll tell you a little bit more about them throughout the evening as we get set here for opening puck drop tonight from Menor Ice Arena. Prowlers once again back in town. I'll be joined alongside here momentarily by Jared Tennant, Communications Manager, and color commentary as Sebastian Ragno gets set to lead the Icebreakers to continue that energized jolt effort for the Icebreakers. They had a strong third period, trailing 7-2 last night, before rattling off 2 goals and then almost 2 more in what was a wild and exciting period. The energy and excitement was here at Menor Ice Arena. And, of course, tonight is the first ever Pucks and Paws event with pups here and dogs here from our Fanatics in attendance to root on. And if you saw, Sebastian Ragno had the Stitch join the team. His Husky was out there, as well as the video we caught up with Sebastian Ragno following last night's strong effort. Just go to the Icebreakers Facebook page and check that out. But now we're going to take a look at the starting lineups, and Jared will bring you the Prowlers starting line.
And goal tonight, we're going to see Chris Paulin for the Prowlers. It's been a while since we've seen him play in this building. I believe it was late December the last time Paulin got the starting nod at Menor Ice Arena. Jonathan Giuliano, Matt Rupert, and Matt Graham are your forwards for Port Huron, and Dalton Young and Rob Easterbrook will be starting on defense.
Starting line for the Menor Icebreakers starts out with the line centered by Josh Newberg, who scored those 2 third-period goals for the Iceberg, the Cranford, New Jersey native. Left defenseman Isaiah Crawford. Right defenseman Alfonso Diaz. Left defenseman Billy Rapone is getting the start tonight. Right defenseman Alfonso Diaz. Left wing Brendan McKenzie. And right wing will be the Brooklyn, Ohio native Blake Nada. In between the pipes, he debuted last night, the 6'6", 180-pound Temperance, Michigan native, Kent Nussbaum. He'll get his first start in the Icebreakers uniform, and we'll look to see how he could do right from the get-go. He came in relief of Jordan Brandt last night, so we'll see how he does from opening puck drop. Your starting lineups here at Menor Ice Arena are sponsored by Ganley Village, providing everything from financing to auto service and parts. They are the dealership experience you've been waiting for as we roll on towards the national anthem, which will be sung by Dave Juka of Proline Screenwear Inc. Once again, it is Pucks and Paws night. A dog handler from the Lake County Humane Society will be dropping the ceremonial puck as well. And we thank you for joining us on this Saturday evening matchup. Last night, again, Prowlers win 7-4. Icebreakers with a 6:30 start tonight against these visiting Prowlers, who take the ice now before they make that trip up to David S. Palmer Arena. And Jared, any quick thoughts before the Icebreakers take the ice for tonight's matchup?
Yeah, it's got to bring that third period energy they had last night. That line of Brendan McKenzie, Blake Nada, and Josh Newberg was so good last night. Now, I was talking to head coach Sebastian Ragno. Both of us were last night, actually, and he had mentioned that he challenged that line to be better after they had a minus through 2 periods of play, and they delivered in that third period.
Good crowd on hand here at Menor Ice Arena. We're going to step away as the team takes the ice. We'll be back with opening puck drop and the national anthem here on YouTube.com.
players, coaches, and staff in removing your caps as the duet of vocalist Dave Juka of Proline Screenwear and clarinetist Bruce Langeth of Global Real Estate honor the United States of America, those who are serving, and those who have served with the playing of our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Again, a big thanks to Dave Juka and Bruce Langeth on the clarinet accompaniment here for the national anthem. Great rendition there as we get set for opening puck drop here on the Saturday evening matchup, Pucks and Paws. There was a dog that barked right before the start of the national anthem, just a very patriotic dog. And we're going to take a look while we get the puck drop out there, a little cute dog. We'll take a look at our officials for tonight that will be overseeing tonight's game, Prowlers and Icebreakers. And we thank you once again for joining us on this Saturday evening, Prowlers and Icebreakers in the second of two games. The officials for today's game are assigned by the Federal Prospect Hockey League. The referees are Kevin Mallon and George Harrison. The linesmen are Scott Gillespie and Keegan Oldock. And now, with the puck officially dropped, Stuart Dant and Matt Graham out there, the captains for their respective squads. The officials are at center ice. And the Prowlers will be moving left to right here in this first period in their road white jerseys, black and red stripes, black and red trim numbers. The Icebreakers in their custom double blue jerseys, dark blue with light blue and white trim, and white numbers will move right to left. We have 20 minutes on the clock, and as Jared, you talked about right before the break, it'll be interesting to see, will that energy carry over to the new day?
You know, last night I thought the Icebreakers played pretty well for 2 out of 3 periods of that game. Of course, Port Huron jumped out to that early 2-0 lead thanks to Matt Rupert, that is. But we'll see how they can respond here tonight. They can bring that same kind of energy and maybe beat Paulin early.
So we will see what happened. Good crowd on hand here for Pucks and Paws event. And Matt Graham and Josh Newberg will line up on the respective side of center ice. And we are underway from Menor Ice Arena. Prowlers move that puck right to left, then left to right in their own defensive zone. Now into the neutral zone, up to Jonathan Giuliano. That one tipped away. Prowlers will retrieve it along the near boards. They'll dump it behind the net. And the big 6'6" Kent Nussbaum will tap it out to his teammates. Icebreakers send that one along the far boards, and it's a foot race to get there. The Prowlers will get there first. Dalton Jay skips it off the edge of his stick to Matt Rupert, who had that tremendous first period last night. And there he takes a tremendous board up from Josh Newberg, not letting he get down there to fuel his team like he did for the Indy Fuel of the ECHL. And at the other end, we have a different goalie tonight in the Prowlers net, as tonight it will be Chris Paulin, who's 12-6 on the year with a .329 goals allowed per game and a .917 save percentage in almost 1,100 minutes. And now at the other end, a long shot Rupert. He likes to start things off in the first period. 3 goals in just 2 games and goes wide right there.
And that one would have hurt Just saw Matt Rupert showing off his speed there. Mark Steele just got a little bit outskated, which, you know, not much you can do about it with the speed of Rupert.
Yeah, you think about it. Icebreakers traditionally have played poorly in the second period, but yesterday was the first period struggles. They rebounded pretty well. Now, right now, 18:42 remaining here in the first period. Wind-up shot there off of the pads of Paulin, and that was off the stick from one of the several newcomers, Tyler Homar, the Cannon, Ohio native. Henry Berger works at center ice. Now back cycling it in his own defensive zone over Dmitry Daniuk. Picked up a point last night. He'll be content to dump that one in the zone. Paulin will let Joe Pace Jr. swing it around. Now across center ice, Dalton Jay to Mike Moroso, who had a great second period for the Prowlers. He feeds it to Jay. Jay winds up and just misses the inside left corner there. Icebreakers retrieve the puck. Henry Berg, Claremont, California native, feeds it up to his Belarus teammate, Daniuk, who winds up from the blue line, and the breadbasket save made a little hide there, made by Paulin. And we want to tell you again a little bit about some of these newcomers. Kent Nussbaum getting started in the Shark Tank tonight. Signed just 2 days ago, 6'6", 180-pound goaltender from Temperance, Michigan. Before playing in the FPHL, he played for the Long Beach Bombers of the WSHL from 14 to 16. 3 different teams in the GMHL from 16 and 17. And last year was 0-1 with a .367 goals allowed and a .922 save percentage in an appearance with Watertown. The lefty has also appeared in the Icebreakers 2018 training camp and been a backup 6 times in the ECHL. With only one appearance, official skating over to the box to get some clarification there. So Kent Nussbaum, one of several new players, and the newest guy added to the team is Mike Zanone, just added this afternoon. Lefty 5'9", 197-pounder from right here in North Ridgeville, Ohio. Played for the Worcester Oilers of the NA3HL from 2015 to 17. And we got 2 minutes on the box against the Port Huron Prowler.
I'm not sure what happened there. It looked like it was during a stoppage in play. Brandon Contrato headed to the box.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. They were going to line up from the left defensive circle. We went over parallel now to the right defensive circle. Face off there, Icebreakers will win the draw. Mark Steele, the former Battle Creek Rumblebee, tries to get it to his teammate, Stephen Fowler, Oxford, Michigan native. Steele recovers it and will send that one across the blue line towards Paulin. And Paulin avoids Josh Newberg. Oh, and Josh Newberg does not get avoided by a Prowler from behind with a late push from Matt Rupert. It was a face-off violation is what caused it there.
That was on Contrato, was that face-off violation. Not a penalty you see called very often in this league.
So does Port Huron look a little frustrated, Jared? I know they picked up the win last night, but maybe a little frustrated with how much these newcomers tested him last night. A little shove by Newberg, who coincidentally or not, had the 2 goals there in the third period.
Maybe a little bit too early to say that, but definitely Newberg being aggressive there, trying to poke the puck away from Paulin, and I think you're gonna pay the price every time for that.
Matt Graham now takes the bounce off Steele. He's skating alone 1-on-0, and he puts it around the net into the right corner. And Matt Graham, who did not score a point until late last game, he scores his 18th goal of the season. Does the Prowlers' leading goal scorer or point scorer, and just like that, Port Huron 1-0 at 17:24.
Yeah, like we saw last night, too many of these breakaways so far earlier in this game. You can't be giving up, especially to these guys up front that the Prowlers have. Matt Graham, the 3rd leading scorer right now in the FPHL.
So Matt Graham swings it around left to right there, around the net. And, you know, I have a feeling these Icebreakers are going to battle here tonight, but you just don't want to give up another tough start like that because the Prowlers are too good, second place in the Western Division, to escape tough holes like that. Caught up there, and Dmitry Daniluk back to Diaz. So that was a short-handed goal. Icebreakers Lake Health power play rolls on. I want to thank Dr. Brian Jariga, Rashawn Bailey, Cassie Mann, and Malia Harwood, as well as Lake Health, for providing great medical staff and athletic training partners as well here and every game of the season. That wind up and the left glove save bobbled but caught off of Blake Nada's stick. So the Prowlers take the 1-0 lead, and that is a tough thing. Like we said, you don't want to give up too many early leads, and of course the Icebreakers have had their struggles when not scoring first. And this is a quality Port Huron team. We'll see how Coach Ragno's squad will rebound.
And for the Icebreakers, that was their 12th shorthanded goal they've allowed this season. For the Prowlers, that was their 11th shorthanded goal of the year.
Icebreakers coming at 14, 26, 0-3, 45 points, fourth in the East. Prowlers 24, 14, 4-0, 80 points, second in the West. 16:35 remaining in the first period. 38 seconds left in the Lake Cal power play. Henry Berger will leave that one hanging behind the net. He'll wait for the forecheck to disappear, and now he will make his puck way over to Nada, but gets ahead of Nada, and now behind the Prowlers net, where Rob Easterbrook, the Madison Heights, Michigan native, will send that into the neutral zone. Menor will win it there. Dominic Horvath works it over to one of the newcomers, Josh Lemke, Cleveland, Ohio native. A lot of guys from the Western PA and Northeast Ohio area picked up. Crawford went for the stick handle. Moroso stole it. He's got Portillo left side, fakes it, winds up, and bounces off the pads, off the big frame of Nussbaum. I thought he was going to look to Portillo there in the left circle.
And just a couple of those sloppy turnovers you saw. Isaiah Crawford there tried to stick handle around the Prowler, and it just did not work. You got to be a little bit smarter than that.
15:42 remaining in the first period. 1-0 Prowlers, both teams with 2 shots on goal. Now behind the net, Nussbaum will leave it for Billy Rapone, who picked up a goal last night. And now coming out across his circle, that pass a little behind his man, the newcomer Mike Zanone, in his first shift out there, and he becomes the 75th guy to don the double blue for the Icebreakers. Of course, a big wave last night. 7 guys made their Icebreaker debut, and a lot of them made their professional debut. We just mentioned Josh Lemke, signed on February 27th, a 6'1", 205 defender from Cleveland, Ohio. The righty played with the Kingsville Kings in 2 stints with the team from 15-16 and the 18-19 season campaigns. Now that shot goes off the safety net and out of play. Want to thank a few of our corporate sponsors here. Marco's Pizza with locations in Menor on the Lake, Willoughby, Painesville, and South Euclid, Kemp LLC, Conway Land Title, Toe Drag Apparel, CSP Insurance, Wingate by Wyndham Hotel, Market Street Family Restaurant, Global Real Estate Advisors, Spuddy's Tavern, Vitamix, and Home Light and Online Real Estate Company. We'll tell you more of our great corporate sponsors here in a moment. Face off coming down in front of the Icebreakers net from the left circle. Prowlers will win it. Now from the left side of the blue line, trying to work that puck towards the circle. That one skates in front of Nussbaum. And there to get their first is Homard, who played hockey at Kent State University. Also head coach Sebastian Ragnos' alma mater. Stuart Dant crosses the blue line, does the captain. Nice stick handle there, and goes just over that top post. And Icebreakers keep it down there. It's Stuart Dant himself works it, trying to get it to work to Tyler Homard there, but the Prowlers force it back to the blue line. Now over center ice, Dmitry Danieluk with the puck. He'll feed that back up to Homard. Homard, an errant pass though, and that's picked by a Prowler player, and Portillo and Giuliano now flanking right side. 14:27 remaining. Fowler over center ice. Tries to push it off the edge of his stick, but he had the 1-on-3 disadvantage. Berger will recover the puck in the neutral zone, trying to stick it. I've seen the Icebreakers try to force a few stick handles here. Some nice move tries, but you don't want to get too fancy against a staunch Port Huron team.
They definitely got to get a little bit more puck movement in the neutral zone here in the first 5 minutes of this game. Still a lot of guys trying to take it through themselves, and that's not going to work against this team.
Also want to thank Lake Erie Marine Sales, Mosaic Properties LLC, Stadium Grill, Preston Products LLC, Bethlehem Christmas Lights Park, Cana Winery, and Habco Tools and Development. We'll tell you the rest of those great sponsors momentarily. Off the draw here in the neutral zone, closest the Icebreakers net, and it's Matt Rupert skating very fast there, trying to work at the Giuliano slot, recovered by Contrado, and it bounces back out. Nice job by Nussbaum to keep that one out of play. A little board up there from Matt Rupert. He's shown some physicality tonight against the Icebreakers as well. Horvath swings it around left side. Working to get it up to McKenzie, who was very impressed with McKenzie's effort last night, the Stouffville, Ontario, Canada native. Crawford loses control of the puck, and Contrado will get that feed up to Matt Graham, who has the early goal in the game. 13:32, went for the slot just out of reach of his teammate Rupert there. Now recovered though, Prowlers have a chance. Moroso jukes his man out, but a nice poke through there by Ty Rickabaugh. And now the Icebreakers will dump that one into the zone. 13:14 remaining. Prowlers with the long feed behind the net. Nussbaum waves it off, and that'll be icing against the Prowlers. Also want to thank McGarry & Sons, Nova Southeastern University, Auburn Career Center, Menor Ice Arena, Fitness First, Ganley Village Automotive, JD Cleaners, and Burger IM.
All you have to do is visit the YouTube channel of the home team for each game.
We'll do the face-off now here from the left circle in front of the Prowlers net, where it's Chris Paulin with a 12-6 record. On his way to 1,100 minutes played on the season for the Prowlers. Last night, Blake Scott went to 10-0, although did get challenged in the latter parts of the second and third period, but picked up another win. Some quality saves down the stretch from Blake Scott on some post-rattling shots from McKenzie. Now Newberg, he'll get that feed up to the newest newcomer, Zanone, Mike Zanone. He'll feed it over to Paul Hanna, the Cookstown, Ontario native, and Paul Hanna brings a little bit of veteranship with all of the new guys coming in. Signed yesterday, the lefty forward hails from Cookstown, Ontario, Canada, the 5'11", 195-pounder. Played with the Evansville Icemen and Battle Creek Revolution of the AAHL and the Charlotte Checkers of the East Coast Hockey League. We'll do the draw now from the right defensive circle, closest to Prowler's net. It'll be Captain Thomas Stewart Dant going up against Sage Citrone. Not sure what we're waiting on here, but we've had a lot of lengthy face-offs tonight. 12:43 here in the first period. Everyone jumpy here, anxious to get that draw. Stewart Dant will win it. Quick shot off there from Hamard, but he didn't have enough power behind it. Recovered by Stewart Dant. That pass goes behind his man, although Berger will chase it down in the neutral zone. He'll work it over to Danieluk, and he's going to have to avoid Austin Weber's forecheck. Now Danieluk dumps that one into the net, and it's going to be waved off, icing against the guys in double blue. And Jared, over the first 8 minutes of the game, what have you thought so far from the Icebreakers?
I think a little bit quieter from both sides so far here tonight. Not as much back and forth action as we saw the other night. Just a lot of neutral zone play, a lot of turnovers on both sides so far. But the lone goal by Matt Graham came on a breakaway, and Prowlers have had a couple of good chances on those breakaway chances.
Now, of course, you want to see the Icebreakers have that excitement, but I guess keeping Port Huron a little bit at bay is a good thing. So we'll see if either team can break through and kick things up a notch. Now Fowler crosses center ice. Quick feed, he pushes it forward to Danieluk. Danieluk winds up and it goes in! The Belarus native puts one in back door and ties this one up at one. And how about Dmitry Danieluk? He has refound himself out here with a strong series against the Prowlers.
Almost reminds me of Joe Fatoma last year with the Icebreakers. You remember he didn't score until about February.
That's right.
Late February, early March, and all of a sudden he had three goals in a stretch of 4 games, I believe. Now Dmitry Danieluk, third goal on the season, second in the last 2 games against these Prowlers.
And he did exactly what he needed to do. We got Slam in the house here. He's excited, cheering on the Icebreakers. And the thing we got to talk about, though, is not only do the Icebreakers tie it up in the first period, but Dmitry Danieluk finding himself out there on the ice. The Minsk Belarus native playing strong this weekend, and we're tied up at shots on goal, and that is good to see. And they give the credit to Fowler right now in the goal, although I thought Danieluk had the deflection, but we'll see if that will stand. Which way did you see it, Jared? I thought it went off a Fowler stick and Danieluk finished it.
I'll have to see. It might have crossed the line before Danieluk actually got to the puck, in which case it'd be Stephen Fowler's 9th goal of the season.
So either way, Danieluk is picking up a point, either an assist or a goal. For Dmitry, as a 2.79 scoring line coming in. So either way you slice it, he becomes the 5th Icebreaker on the current roster to get to double-digit points. So good for Dmitry, the Belarus native. In the northwest part of Asia is where Belarus is. And now Matt Graham crosses blue line the other way. They're in Icebreakers territory. That's where they're at. Giuliano winds up and goes wide left. 11:25 remaining. It's 1-1. Icebreakers with the 5-on-4 shot on goal advantage. And we'll see. We'll check that momentarily. But right now, either way, Icebreakers have tied this one up. That one, dangerous bounce off a Nada stick. And Nussbaum slides over to make sure it doesn't sneak through. Well, I tell you, Jared, it is good to see Menor battle.
Yeah, we haven't seen a ton of great first period efforts. Obviously, last night they played fairly well, but at the end of the day, they were down 2 goals at the end of 1. And right now, through the first 10 minutes of this game, I've been pretty impressed.
That's a good sign to see. Now Dalton Jay crosses over the right top half of that circle, trying to feed it to the slot to Zolkanichin. How about Nussbaum? He has been more than solid in the small sample size that we've seen so far.
And a little nonchalant there defensively by the Icebreakers as Okanich was left right in front of Nussbaum, who came up big. But Zach Okanich is one of the last people you want to see get a good look at the net like that. On the season, he has 15 points in 9 games against Menor.
Yeah, I appreciate the save by Nussbaum, but we want to be getting away from the nonchalant defense, something that has plagued the team a little bit over, for quite some time, really. That has been their downfall. So we'll see if they can get away from that. Zanone showing some fire crossing blue line, but he's all kinds of tangled up there with a Prowler trying to get a read on that number. It's Rob Easterbrook. Everybody trying to free that puck up from its tangled web. Alfonso Diaz gets the puck up now to Hannah. Hannah tries to push it off the edge of his stick, but Easterbrook pushes it to Jay. Now that was a save, Jared. Nussbaum reaches up and swats it like a fly, catching it with the left glove, does the 6'6" lefty.
I mean, so far so good from Kent Nussbaum. Last night stopped 9 out of 10, and tonight his lone goal that he's allowed so far was against Matt Graham, the third leading scorer in the FPHL on a breakaway. So, I mean, if you're Matt Graham, you're probably going to score on that over 50% of the time. So not bad from Nussbaum so far.
So good effort from Nussbaum. Icebreakers work that one into the neutral zone. It gets flipped in the air. Fowler takes it at center ice. Fowler will dump it behind the net. Out comes Paulin. Paulin swings it around to his teammate. Oh, stole there! Stuart Dan's got a shot between the circles, and it goes off the back glass. What a read there by Captain Stuart Dan, who he joined the double-digit club last night. The feed to the slot. Fowler sends it, and he sends it flying off the safety net. A lot of action there, and while we were talking about Nussbaum, wanted to give a shout-out to Roanoke Railroad Dog number 33, Austin Rodebush, former Icebreaker, called up on January 16th and has played in 10 games for the Railroad Dogs, starting in 7 of them. He has a 4-1-1 record with only a 2.01 goals allowed per game and a .931 save percentage. The 6'3", 220-pounder and Toledo, Ohio native has won back-to-back games, 3 of his last 4 between the pipes. Rodebush is the player of the week with a 1-0-1 record and a 1.50 goals allowed and .950 save percentage this week. So great to see Rhodey tearing it up there. Well, actually down there in Roanoke.
Yeah, the thing with Rodebush's current situation, he's really not on a good team with the Rail Yard Dogs. They're well out of the playoff picture, but Austin Rodebush has been absolutely phenomenal. And, you know, at this point, you'd like to maybe get a late season call up to the ECHL, but, you know, next season he finds his way to an ECHL training camp. Who knows what could happen?
Also want to give a shout out to Drake Hunter, the first Icebreaker ever to be called up to the Peoria Rivermen of the SPHL December 7th of 2018 in his second year with the Peoria Rivermen. He had a 3.69 scoring line last season in 30 games and a 3.47 scoring line so far this year in 24 games with the squad. Does the 6-foot, 174-pound righty. So not huge numbers from Drake, but hey, he's stayed up there in the SPHL, which is a testament to his ability, and he has a lot of Icebreaker records as well.
I think you tell, you and me watching this team last season, watching Drake Hunter, he was a little bit too good for the FPHL hockey. You could tell, especially that 4-goal game that he had against Watertown last year.
Drake Hunter knotted a lot of good moments for the Icebreakers, including he's one of 2 guys to have 4 goals in a game along with Declan Conway. He did that actually, he did that against Watertown back in November of 18, and he also tied for second most assists in that big Thanksgiving Eve game against Carolina. 4 assists, 4 goals. He did that in only a few weeks of the season, did Drake Hunter. So good for former Icebreakers up there in the SPHL, and Rodebush, especially this week, getting the SPHL Player of the Week. Right here at Menor Ice Arena, 9:23 remaining in the first period. All knotted up at 1, all knotted up at 7 shots on goal. And Icebreakers, after giving up that early goal, have responded and show they are back to fight for more. Saturday nights are meant for fighting, so that's what we got. And whistle again on the ice.
That's one of those times where just clearing it down the ice worked in your favor as the puck came on right onto Paulin, and he was forced to cover it up for the draw.
I want to remind you, when we return from the Labatt Blue first intermission, we'll bring you the out-of-town scoreboard. 1 game started before, and I believe it was Danbury and Columbus, and a full slate of action. Actually, Danville and Elmira are off tonight, but 4 games overall in action tonight in the FPHL. We'll also check those saves of the period brought to you by Vitamix. McKenzie gets pushed out of the way there by Sage Citrone. Now in the neutral zone, Mark Steele recovers it, gets it up to Blake Nada. Nada crosses blue line. Giuliano makes his presence felt, and the Prowlers will regain control of the puck. Portillo in a chase to beat Mark Steele. A big night story last night, and I saw, Jared, you found some research that Anton Kalinin tied the FPHL record of most goals in a game with 6, the previous mark by the Danbury Whalers, as the Thunder trounced Battle Creek 13-2.
Yeah, now I've heard that somebody scored 10 goals in a game, so I don't know what to believe anymore because they don't have actual record books in this league.
So as far as you could tell from research, it was 6, but somebody has referenced that it's been 10. 10 seems quite a lot, considering 6 is already a tremendous performance, a double hat trick.
But at the same time, what other league do you know where teams routinely will score 10 goals in a game? I mean, how many times we've seen that this season, especially with Battle Creek?
If it would happen in the FPHL. That is a good point. So either way, Anton Kalinin, though, has himself a career night, and the Thunder end a 13-game losing streak by scoring 1 goal for each of those losses. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but they did it. Isaiah Crawford off the edge of his stick goes to glove it down, but Contrado will win that battle, and Rupert cycles it quickly back to Federline. And you could tell Rupert's played at ECHL level. There is no delay with his stick movement.
And his quickness is really impressive. You saw it last night in those 2 first-period goals.
Bounces that one off the backboards, trying to get it to point leader Matt Graham, who picked up point 68 on his goal tonight. That was his 18th. He's got 50 assists to go with it. Prowlers trying to get it between the circles. Icebreakers have a chance here, but the speed of Austin Federle, the Port Huron native, is able to get it. His team from the Blue Water area, they're looking to trounce the guys in double blue tonight, but men are bringing the fight once again. 1-1 with 7:24 remaining, and want to tell you that the weekend doesn't end on Monday. Sure, you might physically be at work or in school when Monday rolls around, but your mind is still on weekend time. That's why at Moe's we've got burrito specials that will make you feel like it's a lazy Sunday even when it isn't. So end the weekend with Moe Monday and visit us at our Menor 2 locations, South Euclid or Mayfield stores. Welcome to Moe's. Face-off now coming to the blue line closest, Nussbaum. And we just need a goalie, an effort to keep us in the game. The defense help them around and let those Icebreakers show that offensive energy that we've been seeing. Let's see if we can get that tonight. Stephen Fowler tangled up with Joe Pace Jr. there. Now both teams battling for control of the puck nearest the blue line. Stuart Dant will chase it down. Nice cycle back there to Dominic Horvath, one of 2 Icebreakers we'll catch up with on a Breaking the Ice. Check out the interview with Coach Sebastian Ragno, posted by Jared today. And, of course, a game recap at the conclusion of tonight. Stuart Dant now blue line. He's trying to make this one a good recap for the Icebreakers. Fowler crosses just outside that left circle. He works his way, weaving to the net, working it around the slot, bounce back out. Now behind the net. Easterbrook's got it, and he gets the feed out of danger zone to Moroso. Moroso quick to Jay. Jay avoiding the 1-on-2. He's got Daniel Kemberger, and he'll have to be content to dump that one behind the net. 6:21 remaining now. Daniel crosses neutral zone. Crosses blue line, winds up and goes off the right glove there of Chris Paulin, the lefty from Lockport, New York. Pucks and paws night, first in franchise history tonight. Newberg from the slot, trying to extend his stick and just pouncing on it there is Paulin.
2 guys these past 2 games, the veterans Josh Newberg and Thomas Stewart Dan. I think we've seen a lot more aggressive play than we have seen in recent weeks out of both of them, especially in terms of throwing the body around and getting some big hits in.
And it's nice to have a little bit of a veteranship join the team, because with so many newcomers, especially getting added into the fold, you need a few guys who have been there. Even a Paul Hanna, who just got added this weekend, but has played for over the last decade throughout that and has ECHL experience. That helps. Rupert now, quick feed, a little too fast for Giuliano, and the Icebreakers lose control of the puck. Now here comes, Prowlers lose control of the puck. Icebreakers quick over. Blake Nader, the Brooklyn native, gets taken down. The mustachioed Blake Nader, and you already knew that, Jared, and I just caught up with that yesterday.
Yeah, a little bit behind. Not impressed out of you there.
I'm sorry. The facial hair, I missed on that, but he definitely has it now. Newberg loses that one, and the Icebreakers will have to chase it down. No, they won't have much chasing. Although, Jared, hate to put you on the spot, but did you come up with a nickname for Clint Nussbaum with his graphite gray and neon orange Thunderbolts on his pads?
Not yet, but we will get there.
Okay, we will get there. That's going to be your job. I named Bus Stop, and That was last year, so you get to do Nussbaum. Now the Prowlers are trying to challenge Nussbaum, and a whistle down there in that near corner. 5:07 remaining. And a nice thing to look at here is the Icebreakers, well into the first period, leading 11-8 shots on goal. So it's not like we're just 2.5 minutes into the game.
Yeah, but right now Mark Steele's going to probably take a high sticking call. I'd have to believe he hit Giuliano up high with his stick. So, by definition, that'd be high sticking, but you never know what officials are going to call in this league.
So
either way, the Prowlers' top-ranked power play unit, 25% on the season. They scored last night, went 1 for 4 on the game. They'll get another chance here.
We'll take the draw from the right defensive circle at Menor Ice Arena, also home to the Menor High School Cardinals hockey team, NDCL, and Lake Catholic Cougars, as well as the North Coast Collision. Of course, your Menor Icebreakers. Thanks for joining us here on YouTube.com, your home and away home for all Menor Icebreakers games, and wherever you're listening from Menor, Ohio, Port Huron, Michigan, anywhere in between or beyond. Federally at the blue line, 1:47 left in the 5-on-4 advantage there. We're trying to get Moroso there to the slot. Federally fakes the windup now to Young. Federally winds up. The rebound from Zulkanic. He's hanging there. Nussbaum with that 6'6" frame just spreads himself out, and he's big enough to keep that one out of the net. Now that one bounces off Horvath's stick. It's going to be a long minute 24. It looks like as aggressive as Port Huron's challenging here, Jared.
We saw it last night. The Icebreakers really need to get a clear here.
And you could see why Port Huron has such a good power play unit. And Nussbaum with the butterfly save there. It definitely helps being 6'6". It is playing in his favor here, just extending his body in that frame. One of the nice things, Rodebush and Jordan Brand also had some size as well, but 6'6", even bigger. Now that one bounced back out. Nussbaum, look at that stance, just crouched down there waiting for the action to come his way. 54 seconds left. So far, though, as the Icebreakers make a line shift, I think they've done a decent job on this penalty kill.
Yeah, they got bailed out a little bit there as the puck just bounced over Federley's stick and allowed him to get a line change in.
Sometimes you got to just take the bounce if it's in your favor. And if the Icebreakers haven't had lady luck necessarily on their side, they'll take it if they can get it. 34 seconds left in the penalty kill. The speedy Federley works it right to left, back and forth. Rupert Federley winds up that wrist shot, and off of the pads there, and stick of Nussbaum, flipped it to the air. Newberg's trying to clear it out of dodge, and there you go. Josh Newberg sends it well out of the danger area.
This is one of those nights where every single penalty kill for the Icebreakers is going to be a battle, just like we've seen over the last 2 minutes or so as this one's about to expire.
10 seconds left. The high sticking call against Mark Steele, former Battle Creek Rumblebee and current Menor Icebreaker. 3:10 left in the first period. 1-1 is the score. It's been a good start so far for Sebastian Ragno's squad, the former Kent State Golden Flash himself, on Pucks and Paws night. And how about that? They kill off the penalty. Sure, Port Huron rattled off 5 shots on goal, all in that 2-minute stretch. But more importantly, Menor keeps them off the board.
That's always an accomplishment against this unit, especially with all the new personnel for the Icebreakers. The penalty kill unit isn't exactly what it once was, but still pretty respectable in terms of the FPHL rankings. 5th overall in the league at 82%, and that'll bump up a little bit after that kill.
It definitely isn't the Icebreakers' weakest point, is their penalty kill. Although the power play is something we got to give that jolt of energy on the Lake Cal power play. That's something I think would be a welcomed consistency if we could develop that. Graham will take the draw against Homard, and another butterfly save made there by Nussbaum. And Nussbaum has shown some promise here over the first about to be 2 periods in his stint with Menor. Prowlers crossing that blue line. Graham's got it. They lead 13-11 shots on goal. Tied up at 1 and 2:22 remaining in the period. Nada flips it in the air. It stays in play. Moroso battling for it. Nada's going to win it. Nada's going to lose it. Moroso to Portillo. Wind up. Right corner. Goal. And the Prowlers don't score on the power play, but they do minutes later. And it's 2-1 Prowlers.
Yeah, really nice feed from Mike Moroso, but that one definitely hurts after you kill off the penalty and do such a good job there.
And especially since they had such a long stretch there, going over 15 minutes, almost 15 and a half minutes without a Prowler goal, including a power play opportunity. So still a nice effort there by the Icebreakers. However, the quick speed of the stick movement of Prowlers is what does Menor in here again for the second goal.
Yeah, just one too many neutral zone turnovers as well. It was bound to hurt the Icebreakers eventually, but that one came right back to bite them.
So 2-1, 2:05 remaining. Thanks again for joining us here. Icebreakers now in the 1-goal deficit. And look at Joe Pace Jr. wraps up Paul Hanna there. And now they're going to grapple. They're going to drop sticks. Strong grapple lock up here. No fist thrown, but they've got each other. Oh, and now Joe Pace trying to wriggle Hanna's helmet off. I know the Revolution pay-per-view is tonight, but these two just in a strong lock grapple. You never know what you'll get from Joe Pace Jr., one of the more theatric players in the FPHL.
I don't think many of these newcomers who haven't been playing hockey this season are really up for fighting at this point. I'm surprised to see Hanna really get anything because he didn't really do much here. He didn't really drop the gloves or anything, but you'd expect a couple of roughing minors to both guys.
So both guys go to the box. Paul Hanna, signed on February 28th, veteran lefty forward, hails from Cookstown, Ontario, Canada. A 5'11", 195-pounder, played with Evansville Icemen and Battle Creek Revolution of the AHL and the Charlotte Checkers of the ECHL. Also want to wish everybody a happy leap year. It's the first leap year game in Icebreakers history. Did you celebrate leap year today, Jared?
Yeah, by being here all day.
But hey, you ready for this tie-in? Tell me when you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
The Icebreakers are trying to take leaps forward for the rest of the year.
No.
2 minutes in the clock.
Didn't like that one.
Against Joe Pace Jr. and Paul Hanna. Jared gives it the big thumbs down, minute 43 here in the first period of play. And it's the Prowlers 2, Icebreakers 1. Federally working that one up to Dalton J. Portillo was the scorer on that one. Mike Moroso on the feed. Nussbaum with the low scoop and save. Minute 36 of 4-on-4 hockey still remaining. And it is a 2-1 lead for the Prowlers. Now, the biggest thing I would say for the guys at Double Blue now, of course, adding a goal would be great, but you do not want to give up a second one and end this period down 2, especially in the fashion of giving up 2 goals in the waning minutes.
Yeah, definitely a very important 126 for the Icebreakers here to finish this period strong.
So now off of the draw, it looks like Port Huron will win it. Zolkanich is hanging out there in the slot, but thank goodness that pass was behind him, or else he would have slapped it right at Nussbaum. Was the only man in front of him. Stuart Dant will bounce that one off the right boards. Fowler gets tripped by Zolkanich, and officials saw it. Fanatics were waiting. Officials were 1 second behind him. Pretty clear trip there against Zachary Zolkanich, whether intentional or not, as Fowler lands on his knees between the circles.
I'm surprised to see that one called. Obviously not intentional, but he did get his knee colliding with Fowler's that resulted in that collision. So Kanj is not going to agree with that call, and I can't say I blame him too much.
Don't forget to check out the Danville Dasher stream tomorrow afternoon for the 3 o'clock start. Puck drop there. And we want to thank Spuddy's Tavern, the preferred restaurant of the Menor Icebreakers. Spuddy's Tavern, located in Menor on the Lake, will give fans 10% off their bill after Icebreakers home games when you bring in a ticket stub. And JD Cleaners, the preferred dry cleaners for the Menor Icebreakers, where customer service is their priority. They take pride in customer satisfaction by providing quality dry cleaning and laundering services while making the drop-off and pickup or delivery of your clothing pleasant or speedy. And so the Icebreakers will be on the Lake Health power play, and we're going to play 4-on-3 hockey. Off the edge of the stick there of Josh Newberg, bounces back out. And again, want to thank Lake Health for providing the Live Healthy Wellness Center as well. That one going well out of play into the safety net. Use the training facilities for our players all season long at the Live Healthy Fitness Center, the Brunner Sandon Dietrich Wellness Campus right here in Menor, Ohio. You'll enjoy convenient hours, state-of-the-art exercise equipment, and a friendly, experienced staff. A membership offers everything you need to help you reach your health and fitness goals and keep your New Year's resolutions going strong. So the Lake Health power play in effect for a bit of time now as we're in the winding 44 seconds of the first period. Glove save made there by Nussbaum. Icebreakers trying to avoid the forecheck. The power play will extend into the beginning of the second period unless the Icebreakers score. Now Berger to the slot, and a sliding Newberg ends up in the net. And that one will go the length of the ice the other way. 20 seconds left in the first period.
See, that's one of those plays I'm surprised not to see a call on. After Zolkanich one I didn't really agree with, but I think Newberg was hauled down, would have had a chance for a one-timer in front of the net.
Yeah, that one was close. No call there, though. Diaz will chase that one. 5 seconds left in the first period. I don't think they're going to get a shot off here. Looks like we're going to be headed to the Labatt Blue first intermission as Fowler was able to cross the blue line, but not until the buzzer sounds. So we will go into the first intermission. Prowlers 2, Icebreakers 1. You have to like what you saw, though, for much of the period. Icebreakers go a 15-minute stretch without giving up a goal. And Fowler and Dimitri Danik connect on one, but Prowlers started things off with that early goal. You can't leave a Matt Graham, let alone any Prowler down there, on a 1-on-0 breakaway.
And you see Josh Newberg there pleading his case for that last play. Looked like it was a little bit of a fast break there, and the Icebreakers might have had a pretty good scoring chance at the end of the period, but it just wasn't to be that time.
Morosa and Portillo connected at 2:11 left, and that's how Port Huron took the 2-1 lead. As we get set to go to the Labatt Blue first intermission, when we return, we'll bring you the saves of the period brought to you by Vitamix, as well as the check on the games in action of the out-of-town scoreboard and FPHL. And right now, though, the Prowlers nursing that 1-goal lead, 2-1. We're going to step away now. We'll be back with 40 more minutes at least of hockey on YouTube.com. Welcome back to Menor Ice Arena, where the score is Port Huron 2 and Menor 1. We're going to take a look here at the out-of-town scoreboard, as well as bring you the Vitamix saves of the period. And that period, there was 11 saves made by Chris Paulin and 12 saves made by Kent Nussbaum in his first start. That's brought to you by Vitamix. As always, the saves of the game brought to you by Vitamix. From practices to game day, our blenders help you fuel your performance and feed your life.
Taking a look at the out-of-town scoreboard here, looks like there's only one other game that's been underway for some time now. That's Danbury Columbus. The Hat Tricks have a 2-0 lead over the River Dragons. Former icebreaker Gordy Bennell with both of the Danbury goals. And then the other games around the league tonight, Battle Creek and Delaware, that game still scoreless 10 minutes in. And then Carolina Watertown, after the Wolves recorded a big shootout win over the Thunderbirds last night, that game's still scoreless as well.
That's the out-of-town scoreboard of the FPHL for games in action tonight. And tomorrow there will be a few games as well. Icebreakers will be one of them as they go up to David S. Palmer Arena. Right now it's 2-1 Prowlers. We'll switch sides. Icebreakers again in their double blue will move left to right. Prowlers in the road white, red, and black will move right to left. And we're back in action here. And the first penalty is going to expire against Steele and Hanna there. 40 seconds left of Lake Cal power play as Paulin reaches over to make the save as Zolkanich will spend 39 seconds more in the box.
I think we had the wrong number up there. That was Paul Hanna in the box for the Icebreakers, and Mark Steele taking the shot on Chris Paulin.
So now we'll do the face-off from the left defensive circle. Icebreakers on the Lake Cal power play, 5-on-4 hockey for the next 37 seconds. Dominic Horvath loses it. Matt Graham pushes it past the blue line. Mark Steele will get there, though. He'll keep it around. He'll cycle back. He'll try to feed it up to Newberg just ahead of him. Federally will chase it down, swinging around in a U. Now they're looking to get that up here along the near boards. Isaiah Crawford tries to pickpocket his man, but racing through is Matt Rupert. Rupert goes over right side to his teammate there, and just a little wide left off the stick of Matt Graham, who scored early in the first 3 minutes of the first period.
That's another big shorthanded chance for the Prowlers. About the third time in this game they've had a grade A scoring chance on the penalty kill.
Prowlers back to full strength. Will play 5-on-5 hockey once again. 19:01 remaining here in the second period for Menor Ice Arena. Thanks again for joining us here tonight on Pucks and Paws Night, first in franchise history. Steele with the feed through the neutral zone. Newberg looked to get it, but a nice handle there by Dalton J. Winds up and stick clash with Horvath. Forces that one wide right of the net. Prowlers will retrieve the puck. Young cycles it over. Right side, Cotrado with a wrist shot. Bounces off the pads there of Nussbaum. Rebound somehow doesn't go in. It looked like it bounced in the back net and back out, but that took a good bounce for Menor.
I think that one might have been in, to be honest.
I personally thought so as well.
And this league, unfortunately, there's no replay review, so Icebreakers might have caught a break that time. I didn't hear any iron if it hit the post.
It looked like it bounced off the net somehow with enough speed to come right back out, because I thought for sure that was a rebound goal for the Prowlers, but it won't be officially on the scoreboard, so 2-1 still the score for the Prowlers. Now that one ahead of his man along the far board. Steele will get there first. Nice cutoff. Steele pushes that one up to Thomas Stewart Damp, the Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada native. But Icebreakers in the first couple of minutes of this period don't seem like they've been able to string together too many passes in a row.
And second period, we talked about it last night. It's been their worst period of the season by far. They're minus 25 in terms of goal differential in this period.
Weber now across the blue line to Citrone. Citrone will bounce it off the backboard. Citrone now works it out. Gets that to Portillo. Portillo can't get it to a teammate, but Easterbrook comes up. And the rebound shot, and that one went the same exact spot as the last one, but it gets the light on. And Austin Weber makes it 3-1 Prowlers. And Port Huron scoring at about the exact same minute mark as they did in the first period. They scored at 17:24 remaining. They do it at 17:21 now. And you can't leave too many lone Prowlers hanging around the slot.
I mean, that's just one too many point-blank attempts for the Prowlers. That's probably their third or fourth of the period. We're not even 3 minutes in. That was bound to happen at that rate.
And the Prowlers now with a 2-goal lead, up 3-1. 17:19 remaining. We'll get you that official scoring line confirmation here momentarily.
His first of the season, scored by number 18, Austin Weber. The assist to number 4, Rob Easterbrook. And number 91, Justin Portillo.
Easterbrook and Portillo on the double assist. And how about this? Austin Weber joins the long list of goals scored by a Prowler, and that is his first netted on the year.
Yeah, the former Battle Creek Rumblebee. I think he was acquired in the Brandon Contrado trade, if I'm not mistaken, or another trade of the Rumblebees.
Now skating to the slot, Stuart Tank goes hard off the backboards. Icebreakers need to capitalize here. Trailing now all of a sudden 8 shots on goal, and that was in part due to that power play where Port Huron rattled off 5 shots on goal. Of course, Menor had the last 11 in a row to finish the game, but all of a sudden, things getting a little bit ahead, a little away from the Icebreakers. They need to refocus and reset here and keep this game at bay at a 2-goal lead. That is possible, but when it stretched to 4, it was too much to overcome last night. Here comes the Prowlers again looking to keep it going, and Graham's stick clashes with Brendan McKenzie. 16:06 left now, and Icebreakers are really struggling to string more than 2 passes together at this point, and it keeps getting the puck back here in the defensive zone, testing Nussbaum and that back line.
I mean, all these passes are just right to the skates for the Icebreakers right now. Really sloppy play to open this period, and we talked about it last night, but they don't have the most skilled lineup out there right now, but you expect a little bit more than this.
And they worked too hard to give it up here in the second period, so hopefully they'll rebound here. Brendan McKenzie was close there, the lefty forward from Stouffville, Ontario, Canada, a 5'7", 150-pounder, played for the Windsor Aces of the GMHL in 17-18, and with the New York Renegades, the same league last year, where he had a 21-27-48 scoring line. So now, here comes the Prowlers. Dalton Young crosses the blue line. He's got Graham center, can't quite get it to him. Now flips it forward over the right circle. Zulkanich winds up, and Nussbaum reaches over to make the save. Ken Nussbaum has been pretty rock solid, although letting 3 slide through. He's got 20 saves, but they can't have the puck. They're getting really beat easily in the neutral zone right now, and it's forcing it right back over the blue line time and time again with shots on goal.
And you can't really string together any scoring chances, and you can't get any type of passes going. I mean, 1 or 2 passes, like you said, and the next one's right in the skates. You can't really do much offensively like that.
Commissioner's Cup champs in their inaugural year in 16, runners-up at 18 of the Port Huron Prowlers, looking to get back there now at second place of the Western Division. With Danville losing last night, Port Huron winning, they extend that lead there. Those teams would meet right now if the playoffs ended, with Prowlers having the home field advantage, home ice advantage. Now Moroso trying to cross it to neutrals, and Icebreakers applying a bit of pressure, but they're able to get it up to Young. Young tries to stick handle past Berger. He'll send a backhand pass. Danieluk will challenge Moroso now. And Moroso, the Macomb, Michigan native, dumps it behind the net. Henry Berger now surveying options. He's got forecheck left and right. He'll eventually get it up to McKenzie, but bounces up into the air. And once again, puck lost in the neutral zone. Prowlers have the advantage. Racing forward now is Dalton. Jade looked to go slot to Zulkanich, and Zulkanich just wanted to build a home and stay there for the night at the slot tonight. He's been knowing where to stand all night. Berger surveying his options, and the forecheck has evaded him, and now he'll send it the length of the ice. Nada will race to get it past Federally, but the Prowlers will regain control of the puck. Hard board up here on the near boards by multiple Icebreakers to Prowlers, but Young now has it. Across the blue line, he has it to Federally, who speeds forward to net, but he can't get the shot off in time. Federally came out of nowhere there. Icebreakers send it the length of the ice again, and it's good that they're getting it away from their defensive zone, but still not able to string that passes going into the defensive zone of the Prowlers. They're losing control of it around center ice. Wind up from beyond the blue line there. That was from the stick of Contrado, the West Bloomfield, Michigan native. Fowler picks up speed. Nice touch pass there outside to Homard. Homard sends it over to Billy Rapone, who gets blasted up against the glass here, and a whistle on the ice at 13:32 remaining here in the second period. Want to thank our off-ice officials as well. Scott Tennant on the PA announcer, leading the charge there. What were you going to say, though, Jared? I'll let you get your thought in there. Sorry I didn't cut you off.
Trying to figure out who this call is against. Looks like it's going to be on the Prowlers, Sage Citrone.
So Citrone will go in the box. Icebreakers will go on the Lake Health power play for the next 2 minutes. Also want to thank Greg Butala, Greg Kopp, Fred Hayer, Russell Ralla, Joe Knight, Brandon Cottis, Daniel Savitz, the All Fights officials, Taylor Ruyer, Game Day Operations, Frank Schmidt, Operations Intern through Mentor High School's Business Program, Larry Rommel, Al Moon, Lawrence Rommel on the sound crew, Jared Tennant, Communications Manager and Color Commentary alongside me, and Casey Healy on the video stream, intern through the Auburn Career Center Interactive Multimedia Technology Program. So Lake Health power play, we'll see if Mentor can improve that number, which is one of their biggest struggles they've had, is that number of the power play success, as they have been at now dropped to 11.5%, ninth in the FPHL. Quite the opposite of Port Huron at 25%. So we'll see if they can crack through the third best penalty kill in the FPHL.
And if you remember early in this season, the Icebreakers had the top-ranked power play for a while now, but then over the last 3 months or so, it's been such a struggle on the man advantage, especially now with all this new personnel. It's hard to get any kind of chemistry developed.
Yeah, at one point, a power play opportunity almost undoubtedly meant a good chance on goal, but we'll see if they can get back to, of course, Port Huron. A struggle there, but looking for the slot rebound was Isaiah Crawford as Fowler pushed that one forward, but now the Prowlers push it the other way. 1:16 remaining now in the second period. And Graham's all kinds of tangled up there with Mark Steele, the 6'3" Danville, New Hampshire native, not Danville, Illinois. Wrist shot there, takes a deflection Port Huron way. That was off of, I believe, Mark Steele's stick. And now here comes the other way. Prowlers will dump it the length of the ice.
That's the thing with this power play right now. It really does not look like a power play. I mean, they're getting some chances, getting some fast breaks, but they really are not maintaining any kind of possession in the offensive zone.
That's a pretty good point, is that the power play almost looks like regular 5-on-5 hockey. And that's something that they're going to have to work on. Obviously, build up the team chemistry, see if they could establish who's going to be the unit out there when on the power play. We see some new faces out there now like Brendan McKenzie, and now the Icebreakers will send it the length of the ice. 25 seconds left. The other thing, Jared, I'm sure you've noticed is that these power plays seems to expire as about as quick as they start for Mentor. So now Dalton J, here comes the counter. He'd like a shorthanded goal. He is young, and luckily enough, Henry Berger, skate was in the way of that leading pass. Berger crosses the blue line. 6 seconds left in the power play. Winds up. Good shot there. Goes for the deflection. Is Blake Nada, but a nice closeout short side by Chris Paulin.
I think the net might have came off that time. Not sure.
You got your tally going?
Not a ton of them tonight. We had 5 or 6 of them total last night, and really 3 or 4 early in the game.
And 1 second left in the Lake Cal power play. But, yeah, it just seems like as soon as the power play starts, it ends for the Icebreakers because it takes over half of that 2 minutes to get something started down in the defensive zone.
Yeah, and like we said, it does not look like a power play. I mean, the Prowlers are getting almost as many chances on the fast break as the Icebreakers are, which is just not a good sign for your power play unit.
Well, I believe Port Huron rattled off as many shots as Mentor did on that power play as they were on the penalty kill. We'll do the face-off now, right defensive circle. Closest Paulin's net, and it'll be Paul Hanna, the veteran, taking the draw for the guys at double blue. Mentor looking to win that. That one will take a Port Huron bouncer on Citrone, takes a seat though, as Billy Rapone took him down, and a whistle on the ice though will be offsides.
You know, we've seen a lot of penalties, but I don't know if they've been really on the right calls like that time. Looked like Billy Rapone just took the legs out from underneath the Prowler and no call, but saw some calls earlier that I didn't necessarily agree with. So we're getting those power plays. We're not necessarily getting them on the calls you'd expect, or on the plays you'd expect, that is. And
if one thing though, they've been fair. They have happened for both squads tonight.
If anything, they've been consistent. So
face-off now, left defensive circle. Hanna will take the draw again. It'll be interesting to see. Some of these guys signed for just the weekend and part-time opportunities. Some sign full-length season like McKenzie. We'll see who will stick around and who will be here just for the weekend, as Mentor looks to field the best team they can here for Mentor Ice Arena and while on the road. 11:07 remaining in the second period. 25-17 shot on goal advantage Port Huron. And 3-1 on the scoreboard, with the Prowlers winning this second period 1-0. Here comes the fast skating Dalton J. Wind up, He hit it so hard that had somebody been skating center, they would have had an easy shot on goal on Nussbaum, but the swing and turn and shot from Moroso. Back to Moroso, quick feed, bounces off of Nussbaum again. Nussbaum says no, no, nay, nay, and now the Breakers back line is going to have to try to help him out here.
There's only so many times you can give up those point-blank shots until you're finally going to give one up, but Kent Nussbaum really bailed out the Icebreakers that time.
Yeah, Kent Nussbaum, the 6'6", 180-pound lefty, has really showcased that he can hang in there against the intense efforts coming his way. And we're going on the Lake Health power play once again. Want to thank Dr. Brian Jariga, Rashawn Bailey, Cassie Mann, and Malia Harwood, as well as Lake Health for providing medical staff for tonight's game and throughout the season.
And that was an offensive zone penalty against the Prowlers, which you don't see too often, of Mike Moroso. I think I might have seen the signal for a charge, if I'm not mistaken.
Now we'll wait the official confirmation for the off-ice officials. Want to tell you, Wingate by Wyndham La Malfa is the preferred hotel for the Menor Icebreakers. Visitors coming from in and out of town can take advantage of special room rates when mentioning Menor Icebreakers corporate rate when making reservations. Slashing is the call there.
I was going to say, I was a little bit off. It's a slashing. Either way, the Icebreakers will get those 2 minutes of power play time. They went 0 for 7 last night. So far, they are 0 for 4 in this game.
I know, and you want to look forward to the Lake Cal power play. It always gets announced, an exciting thing, but got to turn that thing around. We'll see if they can start here. Horvath from the blue line bounces it off the pads. 1:48 remaining as it bounces off the backboards. 10:17 in the period, and all the way back down to Nussbaum. Now, the Prowlers. Dalton Jay swings that around the net. Nussbaum almost knocked the net off the moorings when he swung around, and a whistle on the ice. I want to tell you about the next home game. It's Sunday, March 8th. We take on the Delaware Thunder for only the second time here in Menor this season. This is ADM Hockey Day with the Icebreakers. All ADM hockey players wearing their jersey will get into the game free with a paying adult. The event is co-sponsored by Moe's Southwest Grill. We told you about their locations in Menor, Mayfield, and South Euclid. It's also Kids Club Day, and all Kids Club members will get in free with a paying adult. So we'll go to Danville, then that road trip to Elmira on Friday and Saturday with the schedule changed. Check out the Dashers and Enforcer streams in between, and we'll be back with you next Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock where the Thunder will roll back in. Very important series there. That starts a 4-game series, 1 home, 3 away with Delaware. Right now, very important 1:08 seconds left in the Lake Cal power play. Crawford hanging out in the slot. They're trying to get something going, but the Prowlers again able to send it back all the way down beyond Nussbaum and Jared. Just so many crucial seconds seem to keep ticking off on these power plays where we're nowhere near the opposition's net.
And this one's just about as bad as the last one was so far, but 45 seconds, we'll see if they can kind of recover here.
Do you attribute most of the power play struggles we've had to a lack of chemistry with the guys trying to figure each other out? We were asking so much. You ask enough times and you get what you ask for. How about a lot of unlikely things happening? Talking about the power play struggles, and then how about Alfonso Diaz scoring his first goal of the season on a power play goal?
I mean, the odds of that happening as you're mentioning the power play struggles and trying to dissect it a little bit there, I mean, I'll take it, but I think I'm going to give you credit for that one.
I'll give you the assist on that, but it's just, wow, good for Alfonso Diaz scoring. We're first goal of the season, 5th point of the year, starting line, a good defender, and had some good passing as well, but 11% and going down on the power play, and a guy who hasn't scored, and they both come through there, and they'll take it all around, as we will, from the Breakers broadcast booth. They make it a 1-goal game, and 9:02 remaining. Diaz scores on the power play. And look at this, things heating up here. Oh boy, Brendan McKenzie taken down by Portillo from behind. His problem was actually with number 21, or excuse me, 22, Matt Rupert, or Citrone, excuse me, that's 7-1. We're all kinds of confused here. Citrone was the one tangled up with McKenzie, and then Portillo came and take him down. McKenzie, however, before getting taken down, credited on another assist. How about Brendan McKenzie Is that his 3rd point already of an early weekend?
Yeah, and he could have had 2 goals in that 3rd period last night if it wasn't for Blake Scott making the saves of his life on back-to-back plays.
Right at that left post. I've been very impressed with Brendan McKenzie. Very impressed.
And if you remember last night, he was not exactly a fan favorite among the Prowlers. They tried to go after him a couple of times, but again, 5'7", 150, he's not going to be dropping the gloves anytime soon.
And I didn't see him necessarily provoke him. I think he has been, not that the Icebreakers are always free of guilt, as they've had some hits tonight and some calls, but I think Brendan McKenzie is just catching people a little bit off guard as much as he swung into the swing of things.
And in a way, he kind of reminds me of Tim Santapalo of the River Dragons, one of those really skilled, smaller guys that can excel in this league because of just all the skill they have. They're not going to be playing physically, which you don't really see too often in the FPHL. It's all about the physicality and the big guys, but sometimes little guys can kind of be your secret weapon in a way.
Yeah, and it's not McKenzie going to the box. I really don't think he did anything there. It's Henry Berger going to the box for the Icebreakers for retaliatory effort, as well as Justin Portillo for bringing McKenzie down from behind. But again, hats off to Alfonso Diaz. Now with a 1-4-5 scoring line on the year, picks up his first goal on the Lake Cal power play. We got to quit. We got to keep asking for things, Jared, and maybe we'll continue to get them up here.
I just be, super negative about everything, and apparently that works out.
Just fire him up and say, come on, we need a power play goal. We need one now. And Federley will send that one forward. Roughing's the call against Portillo. Head contact is the call against Henry Berger. You don't see too many head contact penalties, do you?
And now he could have really called anything on that play. It looked like just a big scrum of players.
And now Horvath being boarded up there by Zulkanich. 8:17 remaining here in the second period. Wind-up shot there from Contrado. Had so much steam on it, you needed to get a fire extinguisher. Here come the Icebreakers the other way. Fowler crosses the blue line. He works it into a corner. Tries to get it up to Horvath. Now looking to work it back. They've got Newberg there in the slot. Would have been a nice guy to find there. Let's tie that puppy up. See how I did that puppy up on Pucks and Paws night? That was actually pretty good, Jared.
It would have worked out better if you did not talk about it, though. So.
Well, I had to make sure you understood where I was coming from. I figured you would probably pick up the Pucks and Paws reference, but now the other end, Dalton J crosses left circle and looking to push that one towards the slot. Swinging shot off the left post. Brandon Contrado got robbed there. That took a good Menor bounce, a bad Port Huron bounce for the guys from the Blue Water area of Michigan. Federley sends that one off the crossbar. And now slide back, and that one almost sneaks into left corner past Nussbaum's pad. A lot of action down there, down by the Icebreakers net.
I thought the Icebreakers were starting to control play there. Then all of a sudden, Prowlers get two.
Oh, asking you shall receive, Jared. Stephen Fowler with the center wrist shot, and we are tied at 3. Anything else you want to add there, Jared?
All right, let's just keep talking about how the Prowlers are playing well, and for some reason it works out for us.
What a wonky scenario here for the Breakers broadcast booth. 7:06, just 2:04, or just under a minute 58 from the last goal scored. Fowler on the wrist shot, the center wrist shot. This has been a tremendous bounce back effort, as once again, men are finding themselves down 2 goals, and they battle back.
And a big night for Stephen Fowler, his second goal of the game. He has one in both periods so far, so pretty good pace for Fowler.
Anybody want to question if the team has given up or not?
Yeah, at this point, it's been a nice bounce back effort after the end of that first period was not all that great, and they came out flat in the second period. But last 5 minutes or so, it's been all Icebreakers for the most part.
Giuliano sends that one off the stick of Nussbaum. Did that first period goal stand for Fowler and not Daniel?
That one was credited to Fowler, so that backhander did slip through Chris Paulin.
Okay. So Fowler with his second goal of the night. Pickpocket there by Dimitri Danuk, but Moroso wins it back. 6:37, and the Prowlers are actually out shooting Menor 30-20, and we are all tied up at 3-1. You have to think that maybe fans thought, oh, is it going to be more of the same? And they've tied this thing up, and they're knocking on the door for another goal here. Prowlers, Stuart Dan just kicks that one forward. We're seeing everything tonight, Jared. Wind up there, stick clash off of Henry Berger. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey, by the way. Wind up shot there, and Port Huron makes it 4-3.
And Dmitry Danilyuk actually had an assist on that goal. It's his second assist of the game, gives him his third multi-point game of the season.
So what you're also saying is that the Danilyuk and Fowler connection has combined for 2 goals.
And Danilyuk all of a sudden is the Icebreakers' third leading scorer. I believe he's tied with Thomas Stewart-Dant now. Both of them have 11 points.
He's a guy we have to catch up with. Dmitry Danilyuk last year, he played all of his best games, it seemed like, on the road or in a loss here at Menorice Arena. So hopefully the Icebreakers can pull through. I'd like to catch up with the Minsk Belarus native, namely number 1, that I can pronounce the country's name right this year. I would say what I used to say, but then it would probably get stuck in my head and I wouldn't be able to get it right again. So 31-20, the shot on goal advantage as we roll towards the Labatt Blues second intermission. Good crowd on hand here of Fanatics, and we are happy to bring this game to you. Once again, Sunday, March 8th is our next home game. The Delaware Thunder come in for the second time this year, and last time it's ADM Hockey Day with the Icebreakers. All the ADM hockey players wearing their jersey will get in the game free with a paying adult. The event is co-sponsored by Moe's Southwest Grill. It's also Kids Club Day, and all Kids Club members will get it free with a paying adult. Forget the Icebreakers away games can be viewed on YouTube through FPHL Live. Next week, the team plays on Thursday, March 5th and Friday, March 6th against the Elmira Enforcers, and then tomorrow, 3 p.m. start against those Dashers of Danville. An Icebreakers game is a great way to get together with friends and family. Discounted tickets for groups of 10 or more people. Contact us directly on how to get your group here and see a game at Menorice Arena. Tickets also start just as low as $13, free parking, $16 for reserved bleachers, and $30 for the ultimate experience, the Founders Room. Now Newberg, he's looking for the ultimate experience and 3 unanswered goals in a row for Menor, and he's getting pushed away here by multiple Prowlers. Helmets come off for a Prowler and Newberg. I can't quite see a number there as the Prowler behind the net. This is the most action we've seen in an Icebreakers home game in quite some time as well.
And Josh Newberg all night long has not been afraid to go after those rebounds. That Chris Pollen's been covering him up and kind of poking at the glove a little bit, and Prowlers are not too happy with that. You can't really blame them, but credit to Newberg not really being afraid to get in there.
We'll have to check out Josh Newberg's stats that he had with the Wolves last year. I'm not quite sure how many he ended up with last season.
I know Josh Newberg did open the season with the Danbury hat tricks. Got cut a couple months later, ended up signing with the Icebreakers, and the results have been positive so far for Josh Newberg. We're looking back at his stats from last season with Watertown. He had 14 points in 53 games, so he spent the full season with the Wolves.
And he has been a welcomed addition so far for the team in these couple of weeks. He scored, I believe, in his first game as an Icebreaker. And he's added where he picked up where he left off this weekend. 5:45 remaining here in the second period of play. And I stand corrected, I did announce that there was a goal. It looked like that wrist shot went in underneath the net. It went just over the net, so it is a 3-3 game. Apologies for the miscount there on the goal. Now the Icebreakers looking to get this away from Nussbaum. And Jarrett, so far through the first period and a half, what have you seen from Kent Nussbaum?
I've been impressed so far. You know, I don't think the Icebreakers are going to get that elite goaltending that Austin Rodebush provided necessarily, but he's given him a chance to win, and you can't really ask for much more for a guy that was signed pretty much off the street within the past week. So,
yeah, and he's come right in this weekend. Came in the third period yesterday, and already gets the start tonight playing a full game so far. In a 3-3, he's looking for his first FPHL victory as he's 0-1 with the Wolves. So this would be his first victory between the pipes for a team, as well as the Icebreakers. Now off the draw, 5:14 remaining. Prowlers with a 31-21 shot on goal. Eventually return from the Labatt Blues second intermission. Wow, Zolkanich with a low board there to Zanone, who, wow, he is known that he got drilled up there.
That's a little bit of a dangerous hit there by Zolkanich. I think he's not going to be arguing that one.
What was even, the board up they allow, but Zanone was in a crouched over position, could have been crunched up against his head there. It was just his shoulders, but.
Yeah, I think it was really the head contact that kind of put that one over the edge and pretty much guaranteed Zolkanich a trip to the box.
Yeah, not arguing that one. He'll take a seat down. So the Icebreakers back on the Lake Cal power play, and you never know, Jared, that number increases after Alfonso Diaz scores on the last one. Maybe if we clamor enough up here, we'll get another power play goal and take the lead.
And for Zach Zulkanic, I'm sure he's a little bit frustrated. That's his second trip with the box to the box of the night, and you can tell he did not agree with the first call, but not too much argument. I think he's just a little bit frustrated with himself that time.
Slam and getting the Fanatics into here, the best mascot in the FPHL, cheering on the 35th FPHL franchise, your men are Icebreakers, in their second season, looking to end that 12-game slide and do it here at home would be a perfect ending as they take to the road now. Quick off the draw, looking for a shorthanded goal as Moroso and Jay using their speed. Oh, and a hard hit there from Moroso will clock Fowler. Fowler, to his credit, gets right back up. Crawford bounces it off the pad. This has definitely been the most physical home game in quite some time from Menor Ice Arena.
And the Icebreakers don't exactly have their hardest hitters in the lineup right now with this kind of makeshift roster they're throwing out this weekend. With the Prowlers, they've got some guys that are pretty tough. So Canich, Portillo, guys like that, they're not definitely willing to drop the gloves and not afraid to throw the body around.
Minute 27 in the power play, and Moroso will join Zulkanic. That's going to give the Icebreakers the double-up power play, the 5-on-3 advantage. And if you were looking to turn this second period around after such a struggle in the second period all year, here you go for the next minute 27, 5-on-3 advantage, and then 33 seconds more if they don't score, or the 5-on-4 advantage. And this is your chance. You were down 3-1, 2 goals in the second period unanswered. Can they make it 3 on the 5-on-3 power play brought to you by Lake Cal?
An opportunity to redeem themselves after a pretty bad 5-on-3 last night.
Berger has it from the left point. He'll work it up to Nate, and Nate over to Daniel. Daniel looking for a three-point night. Went for the deflection there to Brendan McKenzie. But a good effort by Rupert to keep it out of the net. Berger now between the circles, fakes the wind to Daniel, winds up with a steamy wrist shot that bounces back out. Berger will chase it back down. And it has been a nice welcome change seeing them put some pressure on, at least in the defensive zone of the opposition, instead of being content to play it out of their own zone.
I think the biggest thing is just keep things simple here. Don't overthink it, don't overdo it. Make the easy pass and take the shot when it's there.
Stewart Dant to Daniel now, left side. He's got Stewart Dant flanking outside of that circle. Back to Daniel, right side now to Berger. Berger left to go over again. 41 seconds left in 5-on-3 hockey. Berger approaches in. Now to Daniel. They're looking, they're surveying. Winds up, goes for the deflection to McKenzie. Again, he's trying to sneak it in. And what happened there? And the whistle got blown before it was knocked in by McKenzie.
And Brendan McKenzie, I'm sure, is pretty frustrated here after last night getting robbed twice by Blake Scott in the third period, and thought he had one there, but quick whistle by the official takes that one off the board.
The Stouffville, Ontario, Canada native is new to Menor, but he's made his second residence on the post of these goals here at Menor Ice Arena. That's about his fourth shot that has hugged that post. So now we'll do the face-off from the left defensive circle. It'll be Thomas Stewart Dant, the captain of the Icebreakers, taking the draw against Dalton Jay. I thought Dalton Jay was dancing to this song for a second.
These guys from Port Huron like to have fun. It wouldn't surprise me.
Daniel now from the right circle, glove save made by Paulin. And I think Dimitri Daniel is playing the best hockey of his Icebreaker career this weekend.
Yeah, definitely rejuvenating his his Icebreakers career here. Didn't really do much for the first 30 or so games of this season that he appeared in. And this weekend it's been a different story for Dimitri.
6'1", 185-pounder out of Minsk, Belarus. 24 seconds left in 5-on-3. Lake Cal power play. Diaz is looking for another power play. The deflection just misses right post. McKenzie is close as close can come. In horseshoes, he'd be a winner, but not on ice hockey. Now that one deflects off a native stick. 8 seconds left in 5-on-3 hockey. And they're trying to work that one back. They've got Diaz at the right point. Is he going to get the shot off in time? To face it up to Stewart Dant. Stewart Dant can't get it off in time. 32 seconds left in 5-on-4 hockey. But Zulkanic is back, and the Prowlers get that added man. We're going the other way over the blue line. Rupert. Oh, and he missed his man. Zulkanic, the net comes off, but Nussbaum will fix it. Here come the Icebreakers. 17 seconds left in 5-on-4 hockey. Dumps it behind the net. Paul lays it off. Prowlers will recover. Rupert swings it all the way around. That's going to take critical seconds off of the clock. And in a 3-3 game with 2:38 remaining here in the second period for Menor Ice Arena, one of the better second periods the guys in double blue have turned out in quite some time.
Trying to figure out the reason for the stoppage. I think Pollen's net might have been off, but not sure why they felt the need to blow the whistle when he easily could have just put it back on the moorings.
Excuse me, I know Nussbaum's net came off, but he quickly fixed it. So yeah, it seemed like a similar situation at the parallel end of the ice. Looks like we're going to go to center ice for this draw. Actually, we'll head towards the Breakers blue line.
All things considered, with the recent power play struggles, I don't think that was really a bad 5-on-3 for the Icebreakers. They had their chances, just went wide on a couple. Brendan McKenzie coming up short a couple of times there. I feel like he's due at this point. The
last two Lake House power plays have been a much improvement from recent times, both earlier today and before then. Hannah boarded up there. Prowlers back to full strength, 31-24 shot on goal advantage, 3-3's the score. Thanks again for joining us here on YouTube.com, your home and away home from all Menor Icebreaker games. Hannah will swing that one around the net, and Easterbrook will swing it right back. Berger from the left point winds up. Deflection shot coming here from Zanone, who would like to score a goal in his first game. But now quickly the other way on the counter. Giuliano backhand pass to Portillo. Portillo, though, an errant pass, and Crawford has it. He pushes it forward to himself, but Easterbrook will tap it forward to Moroso. Moroso loses control of the puck. Berger over center ice, over the blue line, looking to wind up. He'll force that one wide left, though. Portillo will retrieve the puck. Minute 47 left as the Prowlers will dump it into the zone.
Almost got the Icebreakers on a line change that time.
Now, it was hanging out there in the slot, but it'll go wide right. Prowlers trying to get this shot off here. They'll get it left side of Contrado. Wrist shot there and deflects off the stick of Paul Hanna. Minute 26 now in the second period. If the Icebreakers can get out of this period tied up at 3, it'd be a big effort. Prowlers, though, looking to regain momentum and retake a 1-goal lead. The net off its moorings as Supine Nussbaum makes the save.
A lot of shots on goal for both sides so far in this one. 32-25 right now in favor of the Prowlers.
And last night, the Icebreakers with a 44-43 shot on goal advantage, including rattling off the last 11 on goal. The last time the Prowlers lost to Menor was 6-3 when Menor won back on November 23rd. The Icebreakers looking to change that today. And we'll see what will happen here. It'll be an exciting final 20 minutes, that's for sure. We still got a minute 15 left in this period. Now, Icebreakers trying to get out of their zone. Feed it over to Rapone. Rapone sends that one down the length of the ice. Paulin will come out for it, looking for win number 13. He's got most wins for a Prowler in between the pipes this year. Citrone gets tangled up with Nada. Nada chops it forward. Federally will get their first 46 seconds left in a 3-3 second period. What a series this has been for them. Last time was all Port Huron, a 2-0 game, and then an offensive effort as well for them. Menor has been battling, losing 7-4 last night, 3-3 tonight. And it's good to see that momentum continue. 29.8 seconds left.
And that late pressure from the Prowlers is going to result in a penalty kill for the Icebreakers over the final 29.8 seconds of this period, and hopefully heading into the next period as well.
So only 29.8 seconds left, trailing 32-25 shots on goal. When we return from the Labatt Blues second intermission, we'll bring you the updated scores from around the league as all the games should be underway now, as well as give you the Vitamix saves of the period. You ready to see Delaware come back in town next weekend as well, our next home game?
That's going to be exciting for the Icebreakers. Some new guys joining the fold, Tony Lampo, Ramil Talipov, two guys that should be really significant contributors moving forward.
The Finnish forward and the high-scoring defenseman Ramil Talipov. We'll see them next weekend, and we only see the Thunder twice. We saw them back on November 16th, a Saturday evening. Now we'll see them on this Sunday afternoon. So, Fanatics, if you want to see one of the new expansion teams, this is your last chance to see the Thunder. Moroso feeds it up to Jay. That's Sunday the 8th, and that's sponsored by Mo Southwest Grill, ADM Hockey Night, as well as Kids Club Night. So, a lot of people able to get in for free as well that night. Check it out at MenorIcebreakers.com. Young now to Jay. Jay to Moroso, a little triangle pass here, 2 seconds left. And a nice job by the Icebreakers to evade a goal there as Port Huron was working it around the slot.
That's going to be very important, 1:31 to start the third period. Port Huron will be looking to get that early lead heading into the final period on the power play, which they did it last night. And you can see the pressure they had late in this period as well. Definitely a talented power play unit.
So the Icebreakers had a deficit in going into the third period last time. They don't tonight. They outscore a team. I don't know when the last time they outscored a team in a period. They do it tonight, 2-1 in that period. And it happened after Port Huron scored first, 17:21 remaining. The rebound slot slapped to the back left corner by Austin Weber, his first of the year. Easterbrook and Portillo on the double assist. Then it was 2 goals over an under 2-minute stretch at 9:02 remaining. Alfonso Diaz on the power play goal. And the assist from Brendan McKenzie. Doesn't score a goal, but gets another point on the assist. Diaz first of the season. 7:06 remaining. Fowler on the centered wrist shot. Second time receiving an assist from Dimitri Daniluk. And that's where we're at, 3-3, heading into the second intermission. You have to think, if you're Coach Ragnow, you're not just playing with a good effort for this third period. A win is within grasp.
Yeah, I'm sure Sebastian really emphasized that second period in the locker room to these guys because, like we said before, their goal differential in the second period is by far their worst in any period this season. And like you said, I can't remember the last time that they actually won a second period. Obviously, last night in the third period, they outscored the Prowlers 2-1, but to do it in the second period, where this team really has struggled throughout this season, is definitely big just in terms of morale.
We'll have to check your encyclopedia on that one. We're going to take a step away, though. On YouTube.com, when we come back, you're going to want to be with us. 20 more minutes at least of hockey here from Menorice Arena. The Prowlers 3, the Icebreakers 3. Keep it right here on YouTube.com for the exciting conclusion. Teams take to the ice in a 3-3 game, a minute 31 Lake Health power play. Well, actually, no, it's minute 31 penalty kill coming up against the Icebreakers. And we are glad that you joined us alongside for this exciting conclusion to this weekend series with the Prowlers. And Jared, we're going to take a look one more time real quick at the scores from around the league, and then I'll bring the Fanatics at home the Vitamix saves of the period.
I've got a pretty good game going in Watertown between the Thunderbirds and the Wolves. Watertown went up 2-0 before Carolina stormed back late in the first period. That game's now tied 2-2 at the first intermission. Meanwhile, Delaware all over Battle Creek once again. They're up 3-0 in the second period. Check the scores in that game. Looks like Darius Davidson has a couple of goals after he had a hat trick last night in that big 13-2 win. Then Danbury on top of Columbus 3-1 in the other FPHL game going on tonight.
Now let's take a look at the saves of the period, brought to you by Vitamix, as the Prowlers in their road white jerseys with rack and blade trim are moving left to right this period. Icebreakers in their double blue, dark blue with light blue and white trim will move right to left. And the saves of that period, 11 saves by Paulin and 14 made by Nussbaum, and that has kept the Icebreakers in the game. As always, the saves of the game are brought to you by Vitamix. From practices to game day, our blenders help you fuel your performance and feed your life. An exciting 20 minutes, that's for sure, as an Icebreaker in the box. That is Josh Newberg for the next minute 9. Prowlers on the 5-on-4 advantage. And Icebreakers able to dump that to length of the ice. So they did it on 2 unanswered goals after the Prowlers found themselves up 3-1. We'll see how this one transpires. Fowler with a 2-goal game. Dimitri Daniluk with a couple of points. And now Federley will cross the blue line. He goes between the circles. Swift move, and Nussbaum stretches himself out so he can't get it in the short corner. And now Rupert winds up wrist shot, and it goes just off the backboards. Nussbaum's been tested too. The Prowlers have rattled off 30-plus shots on goal.
And we knew they were going to get their chances early in this third period. Still 28 seconds to go on that power play.
You can tell they have a renewed sense. They want to take the lead here right off the first minute. 21 seconds at that 5-on-4 advantage. Graham over to Federley. Federley to Rupert on the right side of the blue line. Rupert feeds it up into the near corner. 13 seconds left of the penalty kill against the Breakers. Look for the deflection shot, and they get it. Matt Graham turns and knocks it off the backhand to the right corner. And with only 10 seconds remaining, the Prowlers capitalize on what they were looking to do, and that was a goal in this first minute on the power play opportunity.
And that's just a great tip by Matt Graham between his legs in front of the net. There's a ton of traffic in front of Kent Nussbaum. He never saw that puck, didn't really have much of a chance, but the key for the Icebreakers here for the remainder of this game is going to have to be to stay out of the box, because that Prowlers power play is just so dangerous, and the penalty kill has not been what it once was in Menor.
Matt Graham, after not scoring last night, picks up 2 goals already tonight. And he's now knocking on the door of 20 goals as Portillo got to that 20th marker last night. 19 now for Matt Graham, although he's picked up 69th point of the season, the point leader for the Prowlers, who play up there at McMorran Arena, cheered on by Mitch the Cougar right here. Slams trying to get the Icebreakers back into it as 18-16 remaining in the third period. Prowlers with the 4-3 lead. And you are exactly right, Jared. If I'm Menor, I'm playing as disciplined as hockey as I can. We do not need to have a disadvantage out there on the ice. Young now skates behind the net, and a whistle on the ice. 17:58 remaining. So not only do they need to play a disciplined brand of hockey here, but how do you rebound once again? How many times can this young Icebreakers team get punched in the gut and respond against a quality opponent?
I think it's been pretty evident throughout the night that this is not the most skilled Icebreakers lineup compared to the skilled and speed the Prowlers have up front, but they're getting their offensive chances. Just got to keep doing what you're doing and try to get another one past Paulin.
Nada flips that one hard off the board. McKenzie, he deserves, I guess you don't ever deserve a goal, but he's been so close to knocking one in. You almost feel like he's got to knock one in at some point. That one goes off the side of the net. Lucky for the Icebreakers, Moroso so close there, but no cigar. Now battling for control on the far boards. 17:33 remaining. Crawford dumps that one back to the Belarus native with 2 points. Dimitri Daniluk, he'll feed that up to Newberg here along the blue line. Newberg will go right to left over to Rapone. That one flips out of play into Souvenir City at 17-19 remaining. Welcome to Moe's. Moe's has always been locally owned and operated. Why? Because we care about bringing local communities together and making them stronger. Without you, we wouldn't even be here. And we just happen to roll a darn good burrito. So come on by today. We've got the tortillas ready. Welcome to Moe's. 17-15 remaining. And also, Jared, during the second period intermission, the Labatt Blue second intermission, 2 chuck-a-pucks went in. I think that's the first 2 ever in an Icebreaker game. It happened just kind of like that power play. When you least expect, the statistic came through.
Oh, that one was just narrowly offside for the Icebreakers. Tyler Homard would have had a great look at the net.
Yeah, he would have been 1-on-0 there with Paulin. So 17 minutes now, and we'll do a face-off right side of the blue line here. Closest to Prowlers' net. How many pucks could you chuck if you could chuck a puck, though, Jared? That's the real question of the evening. I'll let you ponder it throughout the third period. Icebreakers looking to get it out of their own zone. They'll feed it up to Crawford. Crawford dumps it behind the net in the 4-3 lead here for the guys from Port Huron, Michigan. Plenty of time left, though. Crawford will dump that one up behind the net now. Steele up to Zanone, rebound off the backboards. Zanone, the North Ridgeville, Ohio native, about an hour from Mentor, Ohio, making his debut, just signed this afternoon. Hanna with the backhand pass to Zanone. He gets tangled up with Easterbrook, trying to close out there on the left side is Crawford. But in the rebound there, he closed out the left side. That left the right side open. Paul Hanna almost put it in that right corner, but no dice there, and a whistle at the other end of the ice. So close on a lot of opportunities last night and tonight for Mentor, but Port Huron with the lead, 4-3, and Mentor needs to do something to get another puck in the net. What do you think is the best chance here for the guys in double blue?
Well, you know Port Huron's not going to be backing down. They play the same way no matter what the score is. They're going to be pushing offensively to get that 2-goal lead, so the Icebreakers got to keep playing good defensive hockey first and foremost.
That one flips above the net. It'll be a nice addition when we get Ramil Talipov, the defender who can score. That'll be a nice boost on both ends of the ice. You got to be excited for a guy like that with at least his stat line coming in. He picked up 4 points in just 3 games for the Thunderbirds and had great success in the GMHL. Going for the deflection there, but it goes too far out. Stuart Trant looking to recover it. 15:27 remaining now in the third period. A good one here tonight, Saturday evening from Mentor Ice Arena. Thanks for joining us here on YouTube.com. The whistle there. 34-27 shots on goal advantage in favor of the Prowlers here on Pucks and Paws night. And want to thank our off-ice officials one more time. Scott Tennant, Greg Gutala, Greg Kopp, Fred Hayer, Russell Ralla, Joe Knight, Brandon Cottis, Daniel Savitz, Taylor Rue, your game day operations, Frank Schmidt, operations intern through Mentor High School's business program, Larry Rummel, Al Moon, Lawrence Rummel on the lighting and sound crew. Fantastic job as always. Color commentary and communications manager Jared Tennant and Casey Healy on the video stream, intern through Auburn Career Center Interactive Multimedia Technology Program. Now along the near boards here, Icebreakers trying to clear the puck, and they're in a stalemate. Finally to the left point to Diaz. Prowlers almost had a fast break. Weber, though, couldn't catch up with it. He'll race after it, and Nussbaum will beat him to it and tip it forward. Matt Graham, though, off the edge of his stick to Weber. He'll dump it down to Contrato. Near corner here. Nussbaum. It's got to be nice being 6'6" to extend yourself in the zone.
And it seems like every time the Icebreakers are about to clear it out and they make a little bit of a mistake, the Prowlers make them pay. You saw that pretty good scoring chance right there by Port Huron after the Icebreakers just kind of gave it away in their own zone.
Got to tip my hat to Larry and the crew back there. That's a pretty creative image. You got a puppy dog wearing an Icebreaker kind of shark costume here on Pucks and Paws. He ties it all together, doesn't Larry? And you got to get to a game here at Mentor Ice Arena, one of the coolest lighting pregame that you'll see anywhere in the FPHL, right here at Mentor Ice Arena in Northeast Ohio. 14:32 remain now. Rupert from the slot just goes wide left to get another chance. Bounces off of Nussbaum's pads. You don't want to give Matt Rupert too many chances from that close.
Yeah, 2 point-blank shots. The Icebreakers caught a break that time.
Now Paul Hanna will dump it behind the net. Prowlers will recover the puck. Big board up there from Paul Hanna, who has showcased some physicality tonight, the veteran. Matt Graham gets cut off by Henry Berger. Berger, though, loses control. Contrado will get it. Now, Rupert skating very close. It goes right side. Wind-up shot there, a wrist shot on the turn from Contrado. Bounces off of Nussbaum's pad. And Nussbaum on a 32-save night in his first start for the Icebreakers. Now Young chips it forward. Icebreakers got to get it out of this zone. Too many shots coming their way. Zolkanich goes wide right. Dimitri Daniel gets pushed down to the ice, and Zachary Zolkanich has been very physical tonight for Prowlers, the Alaskan native. Zolkanich there loses control of the puck. Stephen Fowler on a 2-goal night. Crosses center ice. Looking to wind up tangled stick with Dalton Young. Wind up, bounces off the pads. And just out of reach was Tyler Homard. Had Homard been inches closer, he would have been able to get a nice one-timer that close to the net. But as it stands, the net comes off instead at 13-18. Prowlers with the 1-goal lead and an 8-shot on goal advantage.
It seemed like a much-needed whistle for the Icebreakers that time. Looked like Port Huron was really pressing over the last few minutes or so, and they've really controlled play through the first 7 minutes of this period, and Icebreakers really have not had any offensive chances so far.
And they're the kind of team that can gas you with the amount of depth that they have. You look at their statistics. One guy over 60 points, one over 50, 3 over 40, 1 over 30, 1 over 20, and then several in the teens. That lineup is deep. That lineup is fast. Speaking of fast, Fowler over the right circle. He'll have to cut back, though, as it's Austin Federley, maybe one of the fastest Prowlers out there on the ice. He'll cut him off diagonally. Webb, Easterbrook, and Horvath tangled up now. And from a sliding position, Homar trying to push it forward. There's a scrum in front of the net. About 5 guys down, and that will draw the whistle at 12:46.
Like Chris Paulin almost got caught off guard that time as Tyler Homard forced that one on net from almost on his backside there as he was going down.
And that's the second time tonight Homard has been, second time in the last minute, Homard has been real close to putting one in, just a bit timing off. But you got to like the effort from him and a lot of the other youngsters in this first 2 games so far. Now, Horvath behind the net swings around you. Mark Steele will go for an immediate whistle. Hey, are you sure you don't want to keep your tally on the net, because the moorings have come off about 3 times over the last 2.5 minutes?
And if I'm not mistaken, we're up to 5 on the night, so I think I'll start my tally here.
5 last night, and what was our official total last night? Was it 6?
It was 6 on the night, so we're catching up.
We're at 11 total, which is still quite a bit for a weekend. We'll do a draw now from the right defensive circle. Look at Paul, and he is ready for that action. Newberg will go up against Zolkanich. Mark Steele gets a tip back to him. Prowlers 36-28 shot on goal advantage, and now looking to get it out of their own defensive zone. They work it up to Dalton Jay, who's got 57 points on the season, good for second most on the Prowler squad. Zolkanich goes off left post. Jay recovers it, but Mark Steele quickly and wisely sends it ahead. McKenzie gets tripped up at the blue line. Icebreakers retain possession. Big board up there. Horvath says, Zolkanich, you can come at me. I'm going to stand my ground. He plants his skates down and sends Zolkanich down. Nada now crosses blue line, dumps it behind the net, and a big board there from Nada to Austin Weber. Lots of hits in this one. Then Federley and McKenzie take it down. McKenzie's been bounced all over the place like the pinball Windsor this weekend.
It's been much more of a physical game than we saw last night, but overall on the weekend, been a lot of big hits on both sides.
I can't. When would you say you've seen this physical of a game at Menor Ice Arena?
I want to say those Carolina games were pretty physical, and they always are when Thunderbirds and Icebreakers match up.
So it's been about a month of 5 weeks since we've seen that sort of physical play throughout the entire game as we have tonight. Homard with the wrist shot, gets it off glove, but immediately they'll call on offsides beforehand. Nice shot there, though, from Homard.
Stephen Fowler lets the linesman know that he doesn't agree with the call there. It looked like it was pretty close.
So from the last 3 minutes of Tyler Homard, though, what have you seen specifically from the Canton, Ohio native?
I don't know if there's anything specific that you can really point out with all these newcomers in the lineup tonight, but Homar definitely wouldn't be surprised to see him get on the score sheet if he sticks around with this team.
Icebreakers will be content to dump that one behind the net. Watch the clock as we approach halfway through the third period. 11-12 left, and they only trail by 1 goal. They need to keep that at bay down here in the defensive zone, and of course they need to add one the other way. We'll see what's going to happen, but as the time ticks on, time will be even more of the essence the later the game goes on. We'll do a face-off, blue line closest Nussbaum. Were you able to see by any chance when the last time we won a second period was?
That one might go back a little bit too far.
Yeah,
I don't really have time for one intermission.
I don't think that was a quick look. Board up there from Joe Pace Jr. to Zanone. Zanone's been taken down multiple times tonight. Definitely got off the bus and has been right in the thick of things. A 75th icebreaker to take to the ice. Port Huron swings it around Newberg, boarded up there by Weber. He gets it off from a kneeling position. Once again, slamming. I was getting ready to deliver some icebreaker t-shirts to the Fanatic faithful here. Icebreakers trying to break a 12-game slide, and for the first time in a while, they have a chance. Stick handle there from Zanone. Can he keep it up for the kneeling position? Crawford in the slide, and look who comes out. He just dives Superman style to Paulin. Oh, and if Zanone would not have taken the spill to the ice, the newest newcomer is on the board most likely.
Even with Zanone kind of tripping up there on the scoring chance, Isaiah Crawford definitely a little bit too patient in front of the net. When you're in that position, you just have to rip it and put it on net, and Paulin with an aggressive move to freeze that one.
The former Worcester Oiler and North Ridgeville, Ohio native, Mike Zanone, though, would have had a chance to slap that one straight at Paulin, and Paulin realized this, scrambled, and then took the dive forward out in between the circles to make the save. Chris Paulin is doing that for a reason. Only allows 3.29 goals per game and a .917 save percentage. Icebreakers now from the point, going to send that high off the backboards for the stick of Berger. Prowlers looking to counter. It seems like there's minutes that go by where it's Prowlers all down in the defensive zone, and then the Icebreakers will spend a few minutes down in the defensive zone of Port Huron. A very pendulum swinging game it has been. Big board up there from the physical presence of the Mustachio Nada. And now Brendan McKenzie's going to work it over to Daniel. Daniel gets challenged immediately at the blue line, though, by Jonathan Giuliano. I haven't said Giuliano's name too much so far tonight. Another talented player, though, with 26 points on the season. Offsides aplenty here, though, Jared. That's killing some opportunities.
Yeah, that's another one. I'm not really sure about that call. Thomas Stewart-Dan isn't either. Back-to-back offsides calls against the Icebreakers, and I don't think they agreed with either of them.
Kids between the ages of 5 and 16 are eligible to join the brand new Junior Icebreakers Kids Club. Members receive a membership t-shirt and card, having special access to event with players that will receive free admission with a paying adult, like next Sunday against the Thunder during select games for the 1920 season. Cost is just $15 per season per child. For more information, stop by the merchandise table or visit the Menor Icebreakers website, menoricebreakers.com. Pucks and Paws night, little puppy trivia as Slam gets set to toss out some t-shirts. 2 Chuck-a-Puck winners, 3 for 3 on the trivia, and the Icebreakers well in the thick of things here, only trailing 4-3. Overall, good night for Fanatics here at Menor Ice Arena. So the Icebreakers nearing the 30 shot on goal mark, trailing that 37-29.
Now we'll take one more look around the league here at the third media timeout of the game. Looks like Carolina has tied things up, that is, against Watertown, as Ryan Marker scored to give the Wolves a 3-2 lead before Colin Murray struck for the Thunderbirds just under 2 minutes later. Danbury's up 4-2 on Columbus, and Delaware still shutting out Battle Creek 4-0 in the second period.
So all of a sudden Delaware looking to go on a 2-game winning streak. So this has started to get interesting. 45 points for the Icebreakers. Delaware picked up 3, trailing by 17 at 28. If the Icebreakers can't pick up points tonight, which we're not saying they're not going to, but and Delaware wins, they would be 3 more closer and only trail 14. So the Icebreakers need to come away with points this weekend. Danville tomorrow as well, but they're in this one. 9:30 remaining, plenty of hockey left, and they could tie this one up or take the lead or maybe force an overtime period. You mentioned Marker scoring for Watertown. I forget he was on the Wolves. Now, Urich has been aligned with Mafusa and Elmira, but what if it would have swung Watertown's way and they would have had Ryan Marker and Urich?
Either way, you really can't complain if you're a fan of either of those teams. It's just such fantastic duos.
Wind up in the low save made by Nussbaum. So Nussbaum now getting close to knocking on the door of the mid-30s saves and nearing closer to 40. And for a new goalie getting off the bus just 2 days ago, he's joined right in. And I really think one of the things working his way is, of course, that 6'6" frame. There's been a few saves he's made where I think that length of his stretch on the butterfly save has been very critical to keeping the puck out of the net.
Yeah, and Kent Nussbaum really hasn't been able to find himself a full-time FPHL job over the last 2 seasons, but in the limited action that he's seen, he's been pretty good.
Yeah, I wouldn't personally have a problem with him earning more opportunities for here in Double Blue the remainder of the season. I think he's had a pretty good showing. He came into the third period last game, only gave up 1 and kept the Icebreakers at bay for the Icebreakers to at least challenge the rest of the way. And then tonight, he's kept them in the thick of things, only trailing 4-3. Fowler now, he doesn't have the advantage there. He's 1 Icebreaker going into a sea of white, red, and black. 3 guys there now. They've got Jay and Zolkanich at the other. There's a counter, but now it's the Prowlers that will get the offsides call. We have seen quite a bit of offsides tonight, Jared.
And that one really bailed out the Icebreakers as Henry Berger was looking to bring that puck back into the offensive zone, but he had 3 of his own guys already in the zone, tried to avoid the offsides call, and it almost resulted in a 2-on-1 fast break for Port Huron.
Fans, remember the next time you're visit a mobile team shop next to the bleachers to get your official Icebreakers merchandise. Gear up for the rest of the season with the only source of official Icebreakers merchandise. Face-off closest to blue line, Nussbaum and the Shark Tank there down at the Icebreakers end. It'll flip right down towards there. Nussbaum will come out, get it to Mark Steele. Steele will cycle it around to Brendan McKenzie. Now up to Nada of the Prowlers with the duo there. Able to push it forward. And now a whistle on the ice at 8:04.
A hand pass on Federley that wouldn't hit off his glove. He doesn't agree with the call.
Been a lot of questioning of calls tonight from both sides, but it's been consistent since it's been for both sides. As said, at least you want it to go both ends of the ice on the call.
Yeah, I don't think either side's really all too happy with the officiating, but I think they've been pretty consistent overall, which is really all that you can ask for at any level.
Yeah, if you're going to call a lot of a certain penalty, at least if it goes both sides, you can't complain too much about that, or at least you shouldn't. Easterbrook now, and Nada pushing it back and forth like a mini game of Pong on the far boards there. That's an Atari reference. I'm sure you've at least heard of Atari. I mean, I didn't even grow up playing Atari, but I've heard of it. Are you familiar with that name, Jared?
I think you're trying to, try to embarrass me here, but I am familiar with it, so nice try. Didn't work.
I was giving you credit, Jared. I'm giving you credit. I didn't even grow up with Atari. For my 6th birthday, I received the Sega Genesis. How about, does that sound familiar?
It does, yeah. I mean, you're trying to get me, but it's not working here. So keep trying.
We'll do a face-off right defensive circle. Matt Graham will take the draw against Thomas Stewart Dant. Now behind the net, the Prowlers trying to work the puck up the near boards. Contrado uses some agility to Rupert. Rupert crosses the blue line. Rupert, long pass across the ice to Giuliano. Giuliano behind the net. 7:27. Keep a look at that clock here, as it's going to be of the essence for especially the Icebreakers. Prowlers nursing a 1-goal lead here on Pucks and Paws night, first in Icebreakers history. Now behind the net, Prowlers are trying to work that to the slot. Wind up quick shot from Rupert, and again, maybe a mere second, 1.2 seconds from that puck landing on the stick of Rupert before it fires off another hard shot.
And we mentioned earlier in this period that first 131 of the period where the Prowlers had that power play were going to be probably the most important part of this third period, and right now it's the only goal we've seen.
So Matt Graham on the draw. Prowlers are going to win it. You hate to see, if you're a fanatic, the Prowlers spend too much time around the blue line. They have tremendous setup, and they do it again there started from the blue line, and then they just prodded and poked and poked and prodded and finally tucked that one in. Nussbaum wasn't sure which corner it was going to, and they eventually put it in. You got to keep the Prowlers out of the zone. Icebreakers do not there, and the Prowlers take a 5-3 lead at 7:02 left.
And Nussbaum just was not able to get a glove on it that time. A little bit of a scramble in front. The Icebreakers couldn't clear it. Nussbaum couldn't cover it up for the face-off, and unfortunately Port Huron with that 2-goal lead with 7 minutes to go.
We'll see which Prowler it is that gets a credit on that, because everybody was getting their stick on it. It was going left, it was going right. 5-3 Icebreakers now need to contend with maybe going into overtime, where win or lose, you at least pick up a point. They need 2 goals over the next 6 minutes. They almost got that in the final 4 minutes yesterday from Brendan McKenzie alone, but they went off the left post.
Yeah, I think you spoke that one into existence as well. You said we hadn't heard Jonathan Giuliano's name much this weekend, and he silenced you pretty quickly right there.
Graham and Contrado on the assist. Yes, Jonathan Giuliano. We've seen him do some damage against men than net. I don't know if did that come off there. I don't believe so. But yes, we've seen Giuliano do it. He had been quiet this weekend. He woke up. And
the Icebreakers here will head to another power play, and that's just what they need at this point in the game. It's be a great time to kind of right those power play woes. Already have 1 power play goal in this game.
Icebreakers would like to thank Lake Health for providing the medical staff for tonight's game, as well as training facilities for our players to use all season long. At the Live Healthy Fitness Center, the Brunner Stanley Dietrich Wellness Campus right here in Mentor, Ohio. You'll enjoy convenient hours, state-of-the-art exercise equipment, and a friendly, experienced staff. A membership offers everything you need to help you reach your health and fitness goals. Sorting it out still is the officiating crew. Now it looks like we'll take the draw from the right circle. You got to get 2 here. Force overtime. Quick shot from Berger. The high left glove save made from Paulin. Slashing the call against the Prowlers. Colton Maynard. Haven't said his name very much, but he will go to the box. Icebreakers now on the Lake Health power play. Icebreakers have got their 30th shot on goal. 39 for Port Huron. They are going to need a flurry here to finish, though. Stuart Dant will go up against Zachary Zolkanich from the left defensive circle. And Icebreakers can't get to it quick, but Berger now for the left point gets the errant Port Huron pass. Dalton J all over it in between Berger and Diaz there, who picked up his first Icebreaker goal.
And it's just those little things like you saw there. Berger's slight hesitation allows Jay to get a stick on that puck and knock it out of the zone. The Icebreakers really should have had a pretty lengthy little spell of possession.
Hesitation does not bode well against the Port Huron Prowlers. Too quick, a very fast team, and fast off of the stick as well. And already, as we talked about, 33 seconds of this power play have expired. A lot of that was backtracking to avoid Dalton Jay's forecheck after the hesitation. Now, Nada looking to make up lost time. Breadbasket save, bounce back out. Daniel went for the rebound, but the Prowlers push it forward and back to the defensive zone. Nussbaum will send it forward to the neutral zone. Daniel hot on his heels, though, is Matt Graham, and an errant pass again. And look, right back to the defensive zone, right back to Nussbaum's stick.
You got to realize how valuable this power play time is. I mean, that one's just a little bit of a careless pass. And backhanded no-look pass trying to gain the zone on the power play.
You almost have to say this is the most important power play of the game when you're trailing by 2. Crawford beats his man and goes flying over Paulin. Paulin stood his ground, and Crawford went flying over him, back body drop style. That looked dangerous.
I'm not sure what was going on there. It looks like Crawford is driving to the net, and one of the Prowlers defenders kind of peeled off of him. I don't think he was expecting that necessarily. He ended up going straight into Chris Paulin. That's going to be an easy goaltender interference call.
Backtracking just a moment, though, Jared. 44 seconds left. You have to think this is the most significant power play right now. Trailing 2, just over 5 minutes. You have to capitalize here for Mentor.
Well, the power play's over because of the goaltender interference call on Crawford.
Right.
So,
well, it needed to be the most important power play.
It did, but it wasn't. So, unfortunately, the Icebreakers are in a tough position here. 5:13 to go. We'll play 44 seconds of 5-on-4, or 4-on-4, that is, until the Prowlers get just over a minute of power play time.
So you think that was more of a mental mistake? Crawford didn't expect that stance by Paulin?
Yeah, I mean, nobody's going to be trying to collide with a goaltender at full speed like that. I think Crawford just wasn't really expecting to get that break right onto Chris Paulin.
So that power play goes by the wayside, and Contrado now will wind up. He's trying to get that deflection. Icebreakers out of the power play, but they need to do something now. Now is the time. Now is the time of the essence. Steele pushes it forward, but it's two Prowlers there, Federley and Graham, and Graham will come away with it. The long pass down the far boards now. Rupert winds up wrist shot, bounces hard off of the stick of Nussbaum. Nussbaum does a good job in contention with that shot. But look, the Prowlers right back past the blue line. Now behind the net, surveying their options. A pass errant for Port Huron. And a rare miscommunication there as they hang out around that slot. That one actually did not go the Prowlers' way. 4:24 now for the next minute 10. The Icebreakers on the penalty kill against the league's best power play unit. 4:15 remaining. Moroso all the way towards Nussbaum, and Nussbaum has to do everything he can to keep it out of the net because 3-goal lead at this point would be too much, as 2 is already a tall tale for the Icebreakers to contend with. You'd like to think, you'd like to hope Mentor could come away with a point out of this game, but they're going to have to pick things up double time right now. So Kanich to Moroso, skating free. Oh, and he is lucky that one rattled around the bar and didn't go down, but the rebound gets tucked in. And Jared, that is a tough one to swallow if you're Kent Nussbaum, as it is initially did not go in and then just slid in that right corner with 3:49 remaining.
I mean, this Port Huron power play tonight's been nothing short of outstanding. I believe that's their 3rd power play goal of the game. They have 6 on the night now.
So 50%, 25% on the year, and 50% is going to win you some games. Their 42nd shot on goal. That's a tough one. You came into this period 3-3, and it wasn't the second period woes of the Icebreakers. It wasn't just that Port Huron scored first. Mentor responded both periods, but now the 3rd period has just been pretty much all Port Huron.
I think some of this is a product of you have a veteran team on one side that's been here a million times, and on the other side you have a team full of guys that haven't really been in this situation with a tied game in the heading into the 3rd period. You see one team responded and one just didn't.
Jay and Federley on the double assist. Zolkanich finds himself on the scoring line. On the power play goal, he'll pick up goal number 15 on the season. And that 6-3 lead with an 11 shot on goal advantage at this point. It's going to be tough for Mentor to contend. I'm sure we will see a gutsy effort the rest of the way. It's just a little tough when you actually were going into the 3rd period at a chance thinking that this was maybe going to be it. And now the icing on the cake for Port Huron. One rattle off the right post, right back out, and the rebound shot at 2:55. And all of a sudden, this one has jumped out to a 7-3 lead.
Yeah, I don't want to really say they've given up there, but that was a little bit of a miscommunication on the defensive end. Sage Citrone just had a wide open look on the rebound.
Yeah, the long rebound off the right post, and Citrone joins the scoring line now for Port Huron. And 7-4 yesterday, but the 3rd period had a much different feeling to it as the Icebreakers scored 2 unanswered, trailing 7-2. Now this one you go into the 3rd period thinking, hey, if we play like we did in the 3rd period, we're in good shape, but it's 4 unanswered for the guys in white, red, and black. And now you just try to finish this one out as strong as possible. You head to Danville tomorrow, who had the night off tonight. Fell to Elmira in a very momentum-filled game. Paulin dives over and picks it up. Sage Citrone, by the way, picks up that goal, his 1st of the season. Joe Pace Jr. and Portillo on the assist. That's the 2nd Prowler to pick up their 1st goal. Alfonso Diaz picked up his 1st goal for Mentor. 3 guys net their 1st one and find Twine tonight. Looking ahead, you got the Dashers tomorrow who have the night off. You're coming off a very emotionally exhausting, helmet goes flying in the air there. Very emotionally exhausting couple of days here for Mentor, trying to battle and put this together. What do you do now as you head up to David S. Pullman Arena for an afternoon start? You still got that trip all the way out there to Illinois.
I mean, you play hard like you've been playing hard. I don't know that there's something I should be saying that, is like a magic formula, but this team's lost, 13 games in a row. It's just not one thing that's going to do it. It's got to be a complete team effort.
Fowler crosses center ice. Hopefully they'll take the best parts of this weekend forward with them. You can check out that stream on the Dashers live channel, FPHL Live, and YouTube.com, and that'll be a 3 p.m. start. I'm sure they'll have a bit of a pregame show beforehand. Icebreakers will hopefully take what they've learned. They're still trying to slowly build all the new guys in with chemistry. It's going to take a lot longer than just this weekend, but there are definitely some good things to hang their hats on, and we'll see if they can put those together. Jay now over the left circle with 1:36, winds up and goes far wide. So Candace to Contrado with the wrist shot, bounces all the way back, almost bounces back in the net. They have put some steam behind their shots in this third period. And the Prowlers nearing 50 shots at goal, 46. And Nussbaum now at 39 saves of the evening. Contrado bounces that one back up. Nussbaum gets it there. Another rebound. My goodness. Nussbaum is hit with everything but the kitchen sink here in this third period.
Right now you got one side looking to kind of fill out their stat lines. On one side looks like they're ready to go home.
A tough finish here for the guys at Double Blue. Nussbaum has to duck his mask down. I give him credit. He is just a sitting duck back there over the last minute. He had about 5 shots rattle off different parts of his jersey. 42 saves all of a sudden from Nussbaum. Moments, not too many minutes ago, he was at 34. And Prowlers have just really sent a flurry of goals his way and shots his way. Jay now with 34 seconds left, works it over to Contrado.
Sure, a factor we haven't really talked about is these guys, probably 5 or 6 guys on this men's team have not been playing hockey this season professionally, and I'm sure that, you know, a full 60-minute game is not easy, especially in a league with the FPHL where you only have 3 lines of forwards.
Definitely one of those easier said than done things, especially some of these guys got off the bus yesterday or today and didn't even have a team practice. Some of them may have had 1 practice, 2 max since Thursday's sign-up if they were lucky to be signed on Thursday. Another one goes outside, 2 seconds left, 50th shot for the Prowlers. 34 for Menor in the final score, and a little extracurriculars here between Alfonso Diaz and Colton Maynard. Right in front of the net, we've got some pushing and shoving. Nussbaum's trying to clear his way out of there. I wouldn't say very necessary now as the game has finished.
Colton Maynard took exception to something from Alfonso Diaz there as the buzzer sounded in front of the net, but looks like both teams are going their separate ways.
So nothing too out of crazy there, but the final here is Port Huron 7. They score a pair of 7s here this weekend, winning 7-4 yesterday, 7-3 today. If you take the best parts and periods of the weekend, I think you pick up a win for Menor. Obviously, the young team not able to sustain it for a full 60 minutes. A lot to look forward to from these young guys. The Port Huron Prowlers will go to 25-14-4. They'll pick up points 81, 82, and 83. Menor will fall to 14, 27, 0-3. The stick salute for the Fanatics here. A hard-earned effort, though, by the guys at Double Blue. These youngsters definitely cut their teeth and busted their butts this weekend, and you really can do nothing but tip their hats. I can't imagine showing up and having to go full speed and having no idea of who your staff is on your team and then just having to go full 60 minutes when maybe you haven't played hockey all year. That's a lot of tough task. So the Prowlers 7, Icebreakers 3, a tough 4-goal period, and the Prowlers do get to their 50th shot on goal. Menor will finish with 34. Biggest positive for this Friday and Saturday game, Jared?
I think over the course of these 2 games, 4 out of 6 periods, you played some pretty good hockey against a tough team. You know, the third period tonight and the second period last night, the effort wasn't there. It wasn't what it was for the rest of the game.
So the Prowlers will take the weekend series. They've swept Menor in their last couple of times there. Menor has not won since November 23rd against the Icebreakers. Last win came on January 20th. A stronger effort, though, as they finish this weekend. And now they'll go up to Danville, Illinois, and take that bus trip over and play the Dashers, where they will look to stop the third-place Danville Dashers, a team that we have normally matched up pretty well against, although Danville has had the upper hand as of late in that series. So we'll see what happens. That'll be on the Dashers FPHL stream. We sincerely appreciate you making us a part of your weekend on this Friday 7:35 start game show night and the 6:30 Pucks and Paws start. The next home game will again be ADM hockey night on December 8th, Sunday afternoon, a week from tomorrow. It'll also be Kids Club night. Both will get it free with a paying adult. Pucks drop at 3 o'clock. Join us here at Menor Ice Arena for one of last 4 home games bearing a playoff game. And also, if you can't catch it, join us once again here on YouTube.com. The final, the Port Huron Prowlers 7, your Menor Icebreakers 3. And until next time, we'll see you all later.